voice of Master Chief, Spartan 117. And you're tuned in to Next Podcast. Now, wake me when you need me.
What's going on, everybody? That is right. It is Thursday prime time. And you know what that means. Exactly. It means next podcast is live. And guys, I will let you know, there were some things being played behind the scenes that we cannot play on this channel. My goodness. Here we go. Absolutely crazy start to this show, by the way. I just want to let you guys know that I have a feeling that the panel is in some very rare moods. What is going on, chat? Great to see you guys. Yo, guys, do me a favor. Hit that thumbs up button. Share the show out on social media, wherever you go to talk games. As you can see, if you follow me on Twitter, you know I put a little teaser to what's going to be talked about tonight. And, somebody came back at it, talking about the possible fall of PlayStation or whatnot. I think it's going to be a good topic. Shout out to my boy Doggy Dog hitting up that super chat. He said super chat works. Happy Thursday, panel and chat. Thank you, brother. Definitely appreciate that, man. And as you guys can hear, super chat does indeed work. Try it, as my homie Mooch would say. It's great. But on that note, we have a killer show lined up for you, but we can't get into the topics without first doing the introductions. And I'm going to start with the man who has been with me from the beginning. And yes, guys, I don't know how he has done this and kept his sanity, but he has been on this show from the beginning, coming live from the 405. And he just wants to talk to the intelligent gamers out there. K-Mega, what is up, bro?
What's happening, everybody? What's going on? I told this sucker right here. I said, man, I'm finna eat. My wife prepared me dinner.
Yeah, I went
live.
Eat.
And you went live.
And then
you get me to go first.
Well, see, I picked you to go first, and then when everybody else does their intro, then you can eat or whatnot. But I haven't started the show introducing you first in a long time, bro.
I mean, I prefer that.
I got
anyway,
up, man.
No, glad to be here, man. Another week, and man, some lot of stuff to talk about and get to it, man. We're ready. I'm ready to get to it, I should say. But before I do that, I'm finna get into this play. Thank you guys for coming and watching. Go tell your friends. We about to have one hell of a show.
I don't know. Me and K-Mega have been together from the beginning. When it comes to next podcast, it's kind of like a partnership. Like, I'll be Xbox.
He needs some milk.
Yeah. But
that's not how I feel about that.
Guys, moving on. Next, we are gonna go to the Lone Star State, and guys, I think he will be loud enough for you to hear tonight. My brother Predator, what is up, bro?
No, man, what's going on, everybody? No. Happy to be here. Another show. A lot of topics to talk about tonight, so we're gonna speed this up so we can get going.
You are very low, by the way.
Do I hear an echo? Oh yeah.
Oh wow. All right, guys. Next on the list, we're going right back to my home state. We gotta go to Connecticut here, deep in New England. You know him for dropping that hashtag Crispy Truth, Crispy Bomb. What is up, bro?
Oh, it is going to be a fun night, people, and let me tell you what, it is going to be some greatness involved, and it's not on PlayStation side, I'm sorry.
Oh,
get fucking Rekuto, GG!
All right, I can't laugh. I am the moderator. I need to keep my composure here. Yo, shout out to the friendly neighborhood Blue Shell for hitting up that super chat. And he put this in. First off, thanks for the support, brother. Definitely appreciate that. And he is using the member emojis as well with the Sonic and one of my older kind of like logos, man. But he said for K Mega being introduced first. Mega, I should do that more often, man. I don't know. But yo, guys, next on the list, we are going all the way to the West Coast. Yes, he does each and every next podcast with scuba gear on because he knows his state is falling into the Pacific Ocean. Dark Optimus, what is up, bro?
Well, you know, I gotta. Really? Really? I get fucking R. Kelly? Are you fucking kidding me right now?
Robert.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
You didn't know you could keep going with that, yeah.
That's some slander. Thanks, K Mega for that. But yeah, man, I'm happy to be here. Kind of. I mean, now that I got that fucking, R. Kelly shit going in there. Thanks.
Dark, just to let you know, next week I'm going to introduce you as the R. Kelly of next podcast.
Oh, you better fucking not, dude. You not, dude.
Guys, he is trying to negotiate a trade. He wants to get off next podcast, by the way. He's trying.
That is not true.
Trying to go to a different show.
No, what happened is that
anyway,
show.
But yo, topic no.
No, go ahead, man.
Chat, you can take my word for it, and we are gonna move on to the topics. And guys,
don't listen to this fucking slanderous piece of shit.
Wow, that's your word of the day is slander, huh?
Yeah, I'm trying to take it back.
Chill out, Robert.
Oh man. Oh shit.
He's like, yeah, I really, really want the angry otter sounds back.
You know what? Yeah, you know what? I'm fucking going. I'm going to fucking Four Guys with Quarters. Fuck this fucking. Fuck this podcast, dude.
Don't worry. After we tell him about
but the trade involved me. No, that's not happening.
After we tell him about your extracurricular activities, Robert,
they were okay with me just going. So it's not
Wow.
it's not just.
I've been a little disappointed that I wasn't picked.
Yo,
I'm not.
Yo, Predator, Halo Craig says MySpace is lit. By the way, like your MySpace is lit. Yeah. But guys,
oh, it's his OnlyFans.
Yeah. Go subscribe to his OnlyFans, man. You'll see a lot more Predator there. Oh, I said Predator, and Robert over here thought I was talking about him.
That's what he calls it. That's what he calls it.
Oh, you're. Oh my god, I fucking hate K Mega right now for all of this shit.
Oh hi, thanks for checking in. I'm still a piece of garbage.
See, I'm okay with that one. No, dude.
Oh man, I just cracked. My voice cracked. That we're gonna skip that. Yo, somebody delete that, people.
I think that's the story of your life, right? Your
all
voice
right.
cracking.
I'm done with the sound effects until probably about another 30 minutes.
Because he's got to eat. That's why he's like, I got to eat now.
You've been eating this whole time, man.
All right, well, guys, let's.
I really have. I just hit buttons. It's funny.
Yeah, we can hear. We can still hear the food in your mouth, brother.
Yeah, we can hear it.
But yo, guys, we gotta get into the first topic, and I wanted to start with this whole thing going around social media about Xbox interested and negotiating for Konami IP. Now we all heard the rumor that turned out to be maybe more than a rumor. Hasn't really been like certified yet, but Kojima, being in talks with Xbox to create an Xbox game. And then from there, I started hearing about the possibility that Xbox is talking to Konami about getting some IPs of theirs to bring over to Xbox, Xbox like platform exclusive or whatnot. I'm gonna lay this first question out to the panel, whoever wants to pick it up. guys, where did this whole like Xbox Konami kind of like dealing with IPs? Anybody know where this started? Was this Jeff Grubb again?
I think that's where I saw it at first. Was him.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't seen anything like official, you know. And obviously, Sony, Microsoft hasn't said anything, but like, I haven't even seen like where that came from. Like, is this someone saying it? You know, not saying it's not true. I'm just saying like, I've heard it from multiple people, but I don't know if they're getting it just because they heard it from Jeff, or if they have something as well, some proof as well. I don't know.
You know, I haven't heard anybody like Jez from Windows Central. I haven't heard anybody come out and say this is absolutely not true, and it seems to be kind of like gaining traction. Yo, shout out to RG Viper. RG Viper, first off, what did I tell you? But yo, hitting up that super chat. Thank you for the support, brother. He said, I'll take Dark's spot if he leaves. Yo, Dark, you have like a line of people that wants to take your spot if you leave, bro.
It's understandable. I get it, you know.
Yo, you don't know what you got.
But here's the thing. They don't realize is that I would be included into picking who would take my spot anyways. So
who said that?
Man, I was included. I was included when Crispy took my spot. I'm just
boy, here we go.
We all had more respect for you back then, bro.
That is true. Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
But all right, so Predator, like I said, yo, the whole Konami thing it seems to be gaining traction. I you know, more and more people are coming out. Nobody's denying anything either. Nobody in the gaming media or anything like that. So, I gotta ask you, like, first off, I'm gonna ask you if you think it's true. You know that this is what's going on. You know, I want to know why. Do you think it's connected to Kojima or not? And I want to know what IPs from Konami would you want on Xbox, like funded by Xbox, you know, put on the Xbox platform or whatnot, man?
Is it true? Good question. I don't know, man. Like, we had this conversation, I guess maybe a week or so ago. We were talking about like how this is a typical time we start getting a lot of false leaks.
Yeah.
You know, like, because E3 is usually right around the corner. You start hearing all this news, you know. So I mean, like, Konami, dude, man, I don't know. I can't answer that one. I haven't seen enough. I'll say right now it's fake. I'll say it's fake. Maybe they're working on something. I don't think it's going to be the whole truth that people think it is. Like, oh, we're getting Kojima and we're getting Konami games, and he's going to bring Metal Gear back, and you know, I don't think all of that is true. Now, maybe some half truths in there, but not everything that everybody's expecting. It's gonna be like, oh, you know, we got one game from Konami, or they're working on a third-party game or something like that. So like, I could see that happening. But I mean, what are they worth? Like what? Maybe 2 million, maybe ish.
Maybe they're definitely on the lower end than what they like. You know, they're not as predominant as they used to be, man.
Yeah, and I don't know a lot of Konami games outside of back in the day.
They're
like Nintendo games back, like, you know, when they had like everything, like Russian Attack and, you know, Contra, you know, like
Contra,
I don't think
man.
they need any more shooters in their box right now, to be honest with you.
I personally think they're just trying to sell off their IP, to be honest with you.
And actually, that makes more sense to me, because like, buying them as an entire studio, I don't know. I mean, other than just getting them in Game Pass, I think that would just have them back, you know, in there. But I mean, we got that back in pat, so we don't really even need that. You know what I'm saying? Man, I don't know. Metal Gear would be a good pickup if that's the one they're getting. But I just don't see. I don't know what's really in their library anymore. I'm sure there's a lot. K-Mega, tell me. I'm sure there's a lot of old ass games in there that I have not played in years that we always want to see back. It could be like something completely different. I mean, maybe they have them working on something second party. I mean, that's always a possibility too. But,
well, they tweeted out. I think it was earlier today. It was a smaller title, like it was a 2D side scroller that had kind of like that traditional Japanese painting look in the background. It looked like a really cool game.
Didn't they do Castlevania?
Yes, they did, sir.
So that was in the news today too. So
Yeah, but wasn't that for Netflix though?
I don't know. I didn't read it. I just saw.
Yeah,
I
it was
saw
for
it on my
Netflix
Twitter
for
feed. So I mean,
Castlevania.
like,
Yeah.
you know, maybe they're slowly. I mean, if it's on Netflix, that means someone's got some traction on the game. So, at least with that franchise, so maybe they're trying to bring that back. And
Well, it's just the next season of Castlevania for Netflix. That's all it is.
Okay, that's fine. But
well, yeah, but you know, Netflix.
Now that the game's out, now that the season's out there, like the show's out there, like maybe there's some you know, some traction now to get the game out.
Yes.
You know, and it could be something like that. Like, you know, we've seen little stuff like this start building up into something else late, you know, in the past. So, but I don't know. I have to look at their library and see like what would actually be profitable right now. I don't really know what they've come out with, to be honest.
Mobile games.
Oh goodness.
No, that's what they're investing in right now. It's mobile games.
I think,
you
know, streaming is becoming more and more viable on the whole mobile side of things, and I think if they're investing in mobile games now, like native mobile games now, I think they're going to be disappointed, because I think that exit was like four miles back that way. You know what I'm saying? Behind us, and I think there's different exits that they're successful now.
They're developing mobile games first, and then they can be ported. That's my thought process of what I've seen from them. The fact is that they're huge, like Metal Gear, for example, stuff like that. You can't really produce a mobile game without the cloud. So you can't put out a base product to then, you know, port to another console. You have to port it to the console, and they're not interested in developing for consoles. They're interested in developing for mobile games, at least from what I've seen in the past 5 years from them. They are making like Castlevania mobile and stuff like that. Like there's a lot of games that a lot of people don't even know is out there from them. And I'm a little interested in the fact that, you know, Microsoft has that we don't give a shit money, and could be like, okay, we'll pay you, you know, 10, 15, 20 million just for the IP of Metal Gear. And then you got Kojima sitting there, and everybody says Kojima gonna be there, and he's negotiating. Well, why negotiate? You know what? If you didn't do as well as you thought, even though you made the game you wanted, like Death Stranding, you go back to what you love and you know, and that's Metal Gear. So, I'm just thinking like Microsoft might be like, you know, Kojima, come over here, and we're gonna buy that IP that you love and is like your darling. You know what I mean? We'll bring it over here. And you know what? And the thing is that Konami is not a lot of these other Japanese companies that are still making like viable or even sustainable games. Like even Sega, you know, still bringing out great games. You know, Phantasy Star still is played by millions, especially in the Asian market. They still have a sustainable income. Konami's more or less going to the mobile aspect. Problem is they're not going to the cloud mobile aspect. They're going to the straight mobile. So they're not looking at some of these games as viable for the mobile, you know, market. They're more or less going for like the people that play like the Candy Crushes and, you know, the real-time strategies that, you know, you got to pay money after. You know what I mean? That's what I feel like they're doing now. So I don't think that, you know, it's all set in stone, but I feel like the way we're hearing one thing and the other, it's not, Konami's not going to like sell themselves. There's actually no point for Microsoft to buy into Konami at this point. They're not in that market. They're actually trying to bring AAA experiences to a mobile phone. That is not what Konami's doing. So why do that? So instead, purchase the IPs that they're not using and they haven't used for a period of time. And I think one would be Metal Gear. And if you're trying to get in the Japanese market, you attach Kojima's name to it, and you have a match made in heaven. But that's my point. I'm not saying it's true. Don't freaking quote it. I don't want to see somebody saying some stupid shit. I'm just saying that is my tinfoil hat.
Dude, are you talking like on social media? Really? You don't want people saying stupid shit on social media?
because like then all of a sudden they'd be like, this person said this, and I'd be like, yeah, and I'd be like, dude, I'm just interjecting. I'm talking about a topic, and I'll tell you what, it makes sense that all of a sudden we're hearing one rumor, and then the other company has been out of the game for a while, and we saw that article that said that Konami is trying to sell their IPs. A lot of people forget about that article.
I actually did, but real quick, I just want to give a shout out because there is a brand new member to this channel, Casket Repair. What is up, brother? Thank you so much for the support. Welcome. Enjoy the emojis, brother. Let's see. We got Darnell Davis. Yo, what is up? Hitting up that super chat. He says, what up, bot? Keep up the great work. Do you play with fans? Yeah, bro. I play. Yo, I keep my parties open. You guys can jump in. If I'm playing a game you want to get in on, you just send me an invite or something like that. But
he actually charges for.
Dude, I don't charge. That's you, brother. That's you. And guys, I apologize for me kind of like straining. I don't have my glasses on right now. I actually left them in the kitchen. I'm waiting for somebody long-winded like K Mega to start talking. So this way I can run downstairs and grab my glasses real quick, yo. But so, you know, Crispy, you said that, you know, you're not saying if it's true or not, but I'm gonna put you out on that limb, bro. I gotta ask you, do you think this is true? And is Metal Gear like the only title or the only IP you would want, you know, from Konami?
I think that's the only IP that Xbox will want from Konami. Not saying I would.
I'm not sure. With the success, like how popular or how the popularity is growing for the Castlevania series on Netflix, and kind of like that new fans to Castlevania because of that show or whatnot. Like I think Castlevania should be in there, bro.
Yeah, but that's not what they're looking for. They're looking for something that's not in the realm of their, you know, their first party IP at this point. There's no point in doing that. Actually, you know, Metal Gear, even though
What's
it didn't
their first party IP that's anything like Castlevania though.
It doesn't matter because Castlevania is literally a mobile game right now. You can go and play that in there.
Oh no. But I mean, yo, there's a lot of console games that have mobile variations to them.
Yeah.
But let's be real, Castlevania at its core, at its heart, that is a console game. That is a big hardware game.
Yes, at its heart. But what I'm telling you is Konami does not give a shit. They're making more money off the mobile game probably than they ever did on console, to be honest with you. So you have to understand that they're looking at games as far as, you know, if they make a mobile game, could they port it to a console? And that's the only IPs they care about, at least from what I've seen they've released. Okay? So then you have a game like Metal Gear, which unless you have the xCloud or you have some serious cloud power behind you, which it seems like most of the other competition have kind of disappeared, then you don't have the sustainability. And it's just like, I saw somebody, I can't remember who, but I was watching a podcast and they said, you know, Master Chief Collection to the Switch and not, you know, Game Pass to the Switch. And I said, that doesn't make sense because the Switch could not power the Master Chief Collection. It's not feasible. Okay. Unless you went to the downest res and you basically took. They got Richard running at what? Like nobody plays it because it's horrible.
I think they could do it if they used the cloud technology that they used for Doom Eternal. I think it was they used the cloud or whatever.
They use the cloud, and who funded it, dude? Like a lot of people don't understand that there's a lot of back end shit going on, and I'm gonna tell you right now. You know, as Phil said way back when, it was actually like a year and a half ago. He said, you know, we don't look at Nintendo and PlayStation as a competition, and he's probably trying to bring them in to say, hey, you know, we can take over this market and we can all be gamers, because that dude's a gamer, yo. That's why I fucking hate people that trash that dude. Like, he would have not allowed PlayStation to do anything with Xbox including, the Azure servers. Like, yeah, you could say, oh, Satya signed the deal. Of course he did. He's the boss. But guess what? If Phil said no, I bet you they wouldn't have done it. Just saying. So all I'm saying is that it's a little convoluted. Like, Konami seems like they're actually going into like mortgage and like all kinds of weird like investments, like
Or they have like a water bottle company or some shit like that.
Stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like they're
yeah.
going into different markets, and I feel like a certain IP that they know they don't really want to deal with because it actually requires a lot of like, care and love to it. And you actually got to be like, okay, I'm going to put it here, whatever. I'm going to make it look as good as it possibly can. They don't really care about that at this point. So I personally think like, Kojima has a little bit of a hate for Konami. You know what I mean? So the beauty of it is that Microsoft has that I don't give a shit money and just be like, well, we're trying to get in that Japanese market. Kojima, look, we can try to get this IP for you, but we still want you to make an IP for us. And we're going to pay you. We're going to fund everything, do everything. The one thing I say about Kojima, I feel like the dude just wants to create. You know what I mean? He just wants to create something. You know what I mean? And, for the most part, he probably wants to create something new. But after the way Death Stranding didn't do well, at least as far as how Sony trashed them, not saying that the game was bad. I mean, for most people, it was good. It wasn't their thing, but if you're a logical thinker, it's like, hey, not every game's for every person. So why not sit there and be like objective and be like, like if that person liked it, I don't hate you for it. Now, if I think you're lying, I'm gonna call you out on it because I don't even think you played the fucking game. That's the way I feel about some people. But
yeah, Dark,
I do
what?
that. But
what?
The whole point is Konami looks to be ready to sell, but not just their whole company because they're investing in other aspects. Real estate, freaking bottle companies. Apparently from Dark, I didn't see that one, but like they're doing things that are out of the realm of what they used to do, and now it's like, okay, you have these IPs that are worth tens to hundreds of millions of dollars at times. Why not sell them? Now, if you're not using on your mobile aspect, it makes sense to sell them. Make that money back, put it into your mobile shit. That's probably the way they're thinking right now.
They're putting a lot of it into like pachinko machines and stuff.
That too, yeah.
Dark loves pachinko, by the way. Just want to let everybody know that.
He lives right near Vegas. He can go there. He could actually play some roulette.
Near Vegas, like
they actually have a.
California's a really big place. Like
they actually have a slot machine that is Metal Gear. They have one that's Castlevania in Vegas. So. Yeah,
okay, well, Dark, I'm going to go to you, and then I am going to go downstairs to get my glasses because I am very forgetful. You guys should see me get... Oh.
My soul just shivered.
That was Shax from the Crucible right there. But, yeah, you guys should see me getting ready in the morning for work. There's times that I've come back to the apartment like 3 times because I forgot stuff, like from the car to the apartment. But, Dark, I want you to say whether or not you think it's true, the kind of why, if it's linked to Kojima or not. And then I want to know, and I think the chat does, as well, like some IPs that you would want to come to Xbox through this whole Konami, quote unquote rumor. It is a rumor, but what do you think, bro?
I don't think Xbox deserves any of those games. No, I'm just kidding. No, man, I think, honestly, it is true. I think Xbox they're pulling out all the stops this generation. I mean, like I said before, I said this generation is probably going to be one of the best generations we've had in a long time, simply because I think both Xbox and PlayStation are just they're not gonna take any prisoners, and it benefits for us, for us gamers. That's the thing with Konami. It's like they have all these IPs that they could utilize for these consoles, these new consoles. Like I don't what was the last what was the last Castlevania we got? Like, wasn't it like Lords of Shadow 2 or some shit like that?
Lords of Shadow 2, yeah. The
Yeah.
first Lords of Shadow is one of my like favorite games of all time, by the way.
Yeah, I loved the Lords of Shadow. That was an awesome game.
Didn't Kojima help with that?
I think so, yeah. That game, oh man, that game was so awesome. But it was just like they're sitting on these IPs that honestly, like we could benefit from that, like and if Xbox is in talks with, getting some of those IPs, do it. If they can do it, do it. And yeah, I mean, if those games only come to Xbox, then don't be mad because you know PlayStation had their chance to do it and they didn't do it. So don't be all pissy and shit like that about it. Just take it with take it like a man.
Take it like a man.
Right on the chin, whatever.
Sounds so wrong, by the way.
Yeah, it did. That did sound wrong.
I can't. I don't understand the whole "take it like a man," because I think my brain just thinks differently. Oh, there it is.
I mean, it's just a figure of speech, anyways. It's not like it's trying to say that you're not a man or anything, dude.
Yo,
it is, dude. It is.
See, Halo Craig in the chat. First off, I will let you know. First off, when it comes to the golf game, I put it up on my TV screen. I have 18 days, 10 hours, and 4 minutes in game on the PGA 2K21. I have over 100 PGA Tour victories. And I am ranked number 1 on my friends list in golfer level, by the way. So thank you for asking. And what else did he say? He said old IPs don't sell to new gamers. Now, it depends. It
not
depends,
necessarily. Bro. If it's something that they haven't played before, and they're like, oh, this looks kind of cool. They might be willing to check it out.
Well, like what I said about Castlevania having that series on Netflix, that'll bring people who
exactly
might not have ever played a Castlevania game. They're like, oh, a new Castlevania, especially if they tie it in with the show.
But also, I think they would, they might have to, put in some multiplayer into some of those games because a lot of people, I mean, a lot of younger people, the younger generation, they play a lot of multiplayer.
Damn youngins.
Yeah, they play way more multiplayer than us older gamers. So,
not a few of us. I'm just saying, play more multiplayer than single player. I'm sorry. Sorry to hurt your feelings, but
I
don't know what you're talking about, but okay. Anyways,
it's like, oh,
yeah,
I think.
I'm not even paying attention to him, anyways. So.
Okay.
But I just think that Konami is sitting on a gold mine with a lot of those titles, and they're not doing anything with them. So like, give it to somebody who will actually utilize that stuff. I mean, look at what they dismantled Lionhead Studios, but they're still bringing back Fable, right? I mean, we know that for sure. So, Xbox has kind of always been that way, where they like to revitalize older titles. Like what did they do? What did they do last gen? They did I forgot what game that was. Oh God, what was it? Grim Fandango. They did and I can't remember the other ones. But they did quite a few bringing back of older titles, and I'd like to see that again with Konami, hopefully. But anyways, like any of the IPs, honestly, I would like to see any of them. I don't really care. Because I liked Silent Hill, I liked Metal Gear, I wasn't like a huge fan of Metal Gear, but I dug what I played of it, you know. But
yeah, like is it just I'm past Metal Gear already with
yeah,
with
yeah.
they're kind of like their more recent iterations and everything like that. To me, Metal Gear doesn't have that same stigma, that same kind of like presence like it had back in the day. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if it's me or I'm glad you agree with me though, Dark.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. Especially Castlevania. Like, if they could bring that back,
I want that.
Ooh, yeah, I definitely want that.
Would you want that as a side scroller, or would you want it more like a Dark Souls-ish third person?
Honestly, I would rather have it as a side scroller, to be honest, because I mean
I like the fixed camera.
You know?
I like the fixed camera view that they did with Lords of Shadow.
I like that too.
Yeah.
So I mean, either one of those would be fantastic. I don't want something that's like Dark Souls, because I mean, we got Dark Souls.
Yeah,
we already have Dark Souls, so it's not like I would
Microsoft doesn't have a Dark Souls though.
That is true, but Elden Ring, right?
Yeah,
we don't know what that is yet.
That's their. I mean, they do have marketing rights with it, but I think it is also on PlayStation as well. But yeah,
For
I mean,
now.
if they could, I mean, yeah, that's. I mean, we'll get into things. But I think, yeah, Castlevania definitely would be. Pred brought up a good question there. I mean, like that's kind of like one of those things. Like, do I want it to be like a Dark Souls because they don't have one over there on Xbox, or? But that's the thing, man.
I would say go with a new IP.
Castlevania, like Castlevania is just so.
I would say go with a new IP for something Dark Souls-ish and leave Castlevania to be Castlevania-ish. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
That would be mine. I mean, that what I would say. Yeah,
I think it's honestly, dude, it's just awesome to hear that maybe we might be seeing some of these games come back. I'm excited for it. I mean, I don't care if it goes to Xbox or PlayStation. I don't give a fuck.
Shout out to Portal in the chat. He says they should do a 2D side scroller. Now, Portal, don't correct me if I'm wrong here. Again, this is my own personal opinion. I'm not saying everybody should feel this way, but when you see 2D side scroller, like I automatically think smaller game. Even when it came to like Ori and stuff like that, I absolutely love Ori. I think it's one of the best platformers. But in all actuality, like it's
you don't think of like
game.
Big,
like
you don't think of like big budget type of game. Yeah. Which I think Ori 2 was actually pretty sound budget there.
Probably was after the success of the first one. Man.
Yeah. So I mean. I guess it really just depends, I mean, if they bring it back and it's kind of like Bloodstain Ritual of the Night, I think people would be happy with that too. But then again, like you said, is it a big budget? It'd probably be more of a small budget. There's pros and cons there, so we'll see. I mean, can't rule out anything right now.
Okay, I got you, bro. I got you. We're gonna move on. Let's go to K Mega. We haven't heard K Mega. I think he should be done eating. I know he was hitting buttons on his soundboard. So
Dreadpool's definitely right. I want to see Binks, the time traveling cat. Definitely,
dude. I bought that game on the OG Xbox and I regretted it, man. I did not like that game whatsoever.
The game sucked,
dude. It was horrible. It was horrible. Good thing I had Kung Fu Chaos at that point in time, man. But
that was a good game.
Yes, dude. It's made by Ninja Theory. They need to make it backwards compatible, and so this way I can play it.
Or just make a remake or a remaster.
Well, yeah, make. I would say more or less a sequel instead of a remake or something like that, and then bundle it with the backwards compatible version of the first one. Like I'd be down
a remaster of the first one bundled with it. Yeah,
dude. I think if they this is.
Well, I mean,
if you got me on another thing.
Together.
K Mega, man. We were talking Konami here. Do you think these rumors are true? Do you think this is specifically tied to Xbox and Kojima talking. I think the last update we got was like the deal or whatever between Kojima and Xbox is in the hands of the lawyers now. So basically it's a done deal. They're just finalizing, making sure legality, all that good stuff. Do you think it's connected to that? And Mega, I know you know a lot of different titles from a lot of companies and stuff. What are some Konami titles that you would like to see on the Xbox platform? You know, get that funding by Xbox, bro.
All right. Well, the information came a long time ago about Konami and Xbox. I would say maybe 2019 when the whole Sega EA stuff started coming out. Then Konami got thrown in there. That's when we first heard about Konami and Xbox. Then you know, of course, it died down for a really long time, and then it's been mostly, and the EA stuff got debunked pretty much, and then but really technically it didn't, because then you had EA Access turning to EA Play and then coming to Xbox. So that's the thing that people need to pay attention to. Not necessarily that these things could be looked at as purchases, but more like partnerships coming down the road that Xbox can benefit. So the Konami thing, I believe it 100%. This is why. The whole Kojima thing is something that, because I've been listening, you know, of course, and grubbing. I'm full now. Thank you, my lovely wife. Appreciate the divine meal. But I was listening to what Crispy was saying, and he was basically making a point of that Kojima just want to make stuff, and Kojima does. He has, you know, he just has a crazy, over the top budget. Well, with Mad Booty and that team out there, they're going to make sure that he's got the budget and he's going to do it on time. So, I don't even think that anything that Kojima does is really not on time. I think it's just his price that he asked because he wants to go all out. Now, it's all about if Microsoft is willing to do that. Right now, they're giving the bag to everybody. Why not let Kojima just kind of make his dream game, or make a game that Xbox doesn't have on their portfolio yet, and before or after Join the Dark comes, because that will be, everybody's kind of looking for that game that's like Splinter Cell or kind of like what's going on with Perfect Dark. Well, then Metal Gear would be that type of game to do it. But it was just like I said last week, was that don't sleep on Castlevania. Now, I personally don't think that I wouldn't want a 2D version of Castlevania. I would want to have like a Lord of Shadows version, or go out 3D AAA, make it a huge title. You know what I'm saying? Because Kojima did produce that game. He, with Konami. But there's so many other games too Konami has under their umbrella that maybe not Kojima could make, but just that, if anything, that they just had a wild hair up their ass, Microsoft, and they said, look, I want to try some of these IPs. I mean, remember, one of the critically acclaimed games that they had was Vandal Hearts. I don't know if there was that little indie game.
Oh yeah,
that was through. Yeah, that was one of their games. And then you got classics like Rumble Rose. I don't know if you guys played. That's on backwards compatibility. There's a nice little RPG that's been out ever since the PlayStation 1. I have a hard time ever pronouncing this game, but I played like 3 or 4 of them. There's tons of those. What is Shodoken? How you say that?
Sudoku, I think.
Sudoku or Sudoku? I never knew how to pronounce that game, but yeah, and so I guess and I asked the people out at the game stores would I get it. I'm like, how you say this? And they would say something completely different. So I just left it alone. I just like, hey, look, that's the game I want right there.
Each time you go, they'd say something
right. Like, what the fuck? I just like their damn RPGs. But anyway, but I'm saying, another thing. Shout out to my boy. Sir X-Man, because he always talks about this game. Bloody Roar would be definitely one of those games. And remember that Konami did hold that patent. Now that's saying that they're going to do anything with it, but they did grab, do one of those patent things to kind of give the indication that they might want to do something, or if not, just keep, preserve that game. And just to think for a second, if Xbox, can't do anything with Killer Instinct right now because they don't have the right team to work on it, that they might want to bring another fighter to the fray and bring in Bloody Roar as a substitute until Killer Instinct 2 can come back. I mean, the Bombermans are really popular. Yu-Gi-Oh is really popular. I got damn near all the Yu-Gi-Oh games that they have. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of games that they've had. I mean, of course, I cannot believe that nobody on this panel forgot about Konami and the mighty Double Dribble. How can y'all forget that classic? Because I know every last one of you guys at least one time played Double Dribble.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
man.
I mean, come on now. I mean, you know what I'm saying, not saying that I want that game to be back, but I'm just saying
that
they have
just
a lot
shows
of
the influence of NBA 2K though. Like seriously, you know what I'm saying?
I was more of an.
They made
NBA
NBA in the zone. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's in a game that I still have the pad in the back. At Dead Stance Revolution, I still got the pad.
I'm sorry,
DDR.
K Mega. I'm sorry, K Mega, but I play good.
K Mega, I would love to see you stream DDR. By the way.
Oh, that ain't happening no more. I mean, no. I used to go get down with my son on that. I used to go to the arcade and try to challenge those little Asian guys, those little Asian kids at the arcade. I would get my ass kicked every time. But I was trying to get down when I was younger.
Every time.
Yeah, I was still feeling myself. I was like 29, 30. I get out there, and I could. Yeah, no, there's no way hell now. But no, there's tons of games. But no, I think for what Xbox is looking for, it would be maybe Castlevania. And listen, I wouldn't sleep on a Bomber game. You know, those Bomberman games and stuff like that. They make tons of those games. Or even to bring in.
I think actually Nintendo has Bomberman as their thing.
I don't know. Might need to check that. Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, I think that's a Konami franchise, but you know what I'm saying?
It is, but I'm saying like I think they have like a special,
a special with them. Oh, yeah, okay. Because I know that there's some Bomberman games that's on Xbox, but you know, it's just anything that could try to get, you know, because those games like that are not something that would move the needle and get people really excited. Oh man, Xbox, but it would definitely be a game that's good for XCloud. Stuff like that, and especially games like Yu-Gi-Oh, because card games are still really popular, and Yu-Gi-Oh is really popular too. So, but yeah, no, it would have to be Castlevania or Metal Gear, or if they tried to do a remake of Contra of some sorts, which I don't know if they would. I don't know how bold they would be with that. And then look, you can't. I don't know, a 3D version of Contra just would. I don't know, because I think that new one I bought it, but I haven't played it yet. Because it was on sale for like I think $7. Yeah, I don't think it worked, but yeah, I don't think it worked. So you have to probably go old school 2D. And I just don't know how that would move the needle like that. So I don't know about that. But yeah, I just look at those main. Well, and then don't forget about Silent Hill. I mean, Xbox is in the house
too, don't they? Under Konami.
Hey, what now? What game?
Pro Evolution Soccer, is that under them as well?
Yeah, that's under them as well. And so you can't. There's possibilities there, but I think the real main ingredient, unless they just want to get those Konami games all on Xbox, you know, get some of their old library from way back in the days and try to do something like that. I don't know. Those big three, the big three is definitely Castlevania, Silent Hill, and Metal Gear. And then you could probably, you know, and for me as a fighter fan, Bloody Roar would be another one. But I don't know. But yeah, I would love to see Castlevania be a 3D game, 3D AAA game. You know, that would be fantastic.
Yeah,
that would really be fantastic, and have Kojima put his magic on it. But I think really deep down, I think what a lot of people would really want is to see another Metal Gear from Kojima back, since you know. I mean,
that would be good for marketing, and then, you know, all the media attention and everything like that. But I don't know. Me personally, I'm
sounds like
Metal Gear.
That's good and all, but
fuck it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah.
Yeah.
There's so many other things you can do.
Don't butt fuck it too hard. No.
Oh, damn.
I mean, no one bought. He probably would fuck it too hard.
Anyway, let's dude, where is this show going tonight, man? I swear.
Well, you said it.
It's springtime, guys. It's springtime. Yo, Predator, man, we got to get to you. We got to hear what you think about this. If you think it's true, any of the Konami IPs you would want on Xbox.
You hit me up first.
Huh?
You hit him up first.
You hit me up first.
Oh, I forgot what you said, man.
I'm
gonna have to go back and watch it again, bro.
I'm not gonna repeat it.
I'm gonna go back and watch it again anyway. Then I'm gonna be like, wow, that.
Oh my God, that is awesome.
Oh man, come on, host, let's get it together, brother.
Well, that means we can actually move on, and I'm gonna move on to the whole Xbox Nintendo thing. It's another rumor, and again, we are at that time of year. You know what I'm saying? We're in that season that Predator talks about, where we hear rumors going on. But the thing about this is, there are people out there in gaming media that are kind of, hinting at that there's something going on between Xbox and Nintendo, a partnership. Per se, and I gotta ask. I'm trying to think here. You know what? Let's go K Mega first on this one. No, I did not fall in the hole.
You was taking a little bit of time. I was like, what's going on here?
I was thinking about the panel members and how I wanted to go about, like, who I was gonna call and stuff like that. But we'll go with K Mega on this.
All right.
Supposed Xbox Nintendo partnership, things are getting crazy on social media. I'm seeing pictures of Mario dressed up as a Master Chief and kind of like this whole Halo themed picture, but it's Mario Brothers. Things are getting kind of crazy. I know one of the things people are talking about is Game Pass on the Switch, but what do you think is going on between Xbox and Nintendo, bro?
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I think maybe another character for Smash. That would definitely be something on the table. And then again, Game Pass could go to Switch in some capacity. And like, look, there's no doubt about it that Nintendo knows that they're in their own little lane, and Xbox has no problem with them. The only company that has a true problem with Nintendo is Sony. Because they're both in are Japan companies, and I don't know if they ever rectified that beef that they had.
I don't think they did, dude.
I don't think they rectified that beef from a long time ago. And so
and it seems like
Xbox
Sony's moving out of Japan anyway, to be really honest.
Well, they are, but it doesn't matter. That there's still some, I mean, if it wasn't for Nintendo, there wouldn't have been no PlayStation, and I don't know. You know what I'm saying? And Nintendo is about that slander. They're about that smoke. Because I mean, they had that smoke with Sega. So, but Nintendo knows their lane now. They know where they know that they're not going to try to make any new big super duper consoles to compete with what Sony and Xbox is doing. And so basically what they're seeing is opportunities for great IPs that's on Xbox to maybe be over there, to come over there on Nintendo. And Xbox sees an opportunity to get into that Japanese market one way or another, because that's something important to them. Or I should just say the East. It's more than just Japan now. It's China, it's Korea, it's all of that. So so Xbox is trying to get into that Eastern market. So if Nintendo is doing really well out there in the East, which we know that they dominate in Japan, the fact of it is Xbox want a little bit of that, some way, shape, or another. And if they could implement Game Pass going over there some kind of way, I don't think there's any Xbox gamer now that's going to be on that silly ass freight train of I don't want anything going nowhere.
Dude, it's amazing how that has changed. Stop it. Man.
You don't hear nobody talking about that, because the people that were loudly promote or disrespecting that notion, they're now on board for things like that now. So and they're on the other side of the aisle now. So a lot of people had to eat crow pie, shit, whatever you want to call it, but they just got made a fool out of themselves. So again, nobody would scuff at that. Matter of fact, there would be more, especially Xbox fans would look at that as just part of the whole, Microsoft world domination. You know what I'm saying? So, and Nintendo, know that if they could get a partnership with Microsoft, Microsoft will have their back and a lot of other factions as well. So, and then that's another little stick it to Sony. While I think personally, I think we'll be talking about that a little later, that Sony is going to still be relevant, but I think Sony's going to be on their downcline. It's the start of their downcline. So
did you just say?
Or decline?
Did you just say
decline.
a fall of?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Listen, you can only be on top for so long. I mean, eventually something is going. You're going to fall. I mean, it's the truth. So, it's just, I look at it as that it's a partnership between both. I think maybe, I don't know. I mean, people we talked about this last year. We talked about that year before. We talked about that the year before that Xbox was going to somehow get screwed out of the deal and Nintendo was going to get everything and Xbox is not going to get anything. But now how the climate is starting to change for Xbox favor, I think that it's going to be just a good deal for both. And I'm looking forward to it. I don't know if they could put the Nintendo, some kind of like Nintendo app or something we've been talking about. We talked about that like about 4 years ago. I see that in the realm of possibility. If you look and see the games, they brought a whole slew of Nintendo classics, 8-bit classics, to Xbox. Why? And if they sold halfway decent or well, why Nintendo wouldn't go ahead and try to have more of their games to come over to Xbox in that capacity, or surprise us with a newer Nintendo or older Nintendo title going into Game Pass while Nintendo gets some more Xbox titles on their platform later on. I think Xbox is doing everything in their wake to make sure that they could try to get maintain the big three, but also try to get in and try to do something in the East.
You know, when it comes to Nintendo games, because I've heard some theories out there on social media. I say social media, I mean Twitter. That's basically where I am when I'm talking games. Let's be real. I visit Facebook for my aunts and my mom and my sister and stuff like that. But gaming, I talk about on Twitter. And, people were talking about, Nintendo getting acquired by Xbox and this stuff like this. Now, K-Mega, what you're saying about Nintendo games, mm-hmm. I'm going to let you know why I feel like that's a little, it's hard to swallow, man, for me right now. Just for the fact that of how...
How's it hard to swallow? I'm going to cut you off. How's it hard to swallow when there's Double Dragon, there's Renegade, there's Dodgeball, there's all there's the original Ninja Gaiden, there's tons of Nintendo old school games that's on Nintendo.
They were
what?
They were made
what?
by
Huh?
They weren't made by Nintendo though. Those games weren't made by Nintendo.
They were Nintendo 8-bit classics. They were nowhere else though.
Well,
and I don't even think, and I do think
you're
that
talking
some of those
about
games
from
were
like
Nintendo
the original Nintendo and stuff like that.
Yeah,
right?
the original NES games.
And you got to remember the times were different back then. Like what other system would they go on besides the original Nintendo at that point?
Well, there was really no competition at that point. There you go.
In time, that's why but they weren't like Nintendo first party titles.
All right. Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Hey, look, I will follow the sword on this.
When it comes to their first party titles, let's be real here. Nintendo is very, very secure with their first party titles. They're very how many different mods and people that created certain things with Mario and stuff, even if they were good, Mario they took them away. You know what I'm saying? They shut all that stuff down. They are very protective of their first-party titles, and that's the only thing that makes it like when I'm looking at this, I would love to see something like this happen, but seeing Nintendo's history with their first-party titles, I'm not sure if that's gonna happen like that, bro.
Okay, I mean, it could be. I mean, another game too that was only a Nintendo Classic, which was just a recent game, and I understand that wasn't a Nintendo game, but it was. Everybody thought it was a Nintendo exclusive for the longest time, and that's Octopath Traveler. So
that was a surprise.
So I mean, listen, Will we see Mario Kart on Xbox? No, I'm not saying that.
Damn
I'm
it.
saying games that we can look and see that. I mean, look, it could be a surprise like Splatoon. Now, you know what I'm saying, something like that. I think it would be more so older IPs that gamers know and love for for the nostalgic gamer. But again, if there's something that Nintendo has made, a fund or something like let's see, No More Heroes 3. I'm just throwing that out there. I have no idea. Let's just say No More Heroes 3. I can see that coming to Xbox because it's not a game that is it's a Nintendo game, but that game was also published by somebody else. I mean, not published, but made by somebody else. But I can see that game coming over to Xbox. I could. Now, like I said, the big three, Zelda, things like that, no. But you know what I'm saying. But Nintendo games, I can see them coming over.
See, I can see real quick, K Mega. Like, and I'm trying to like, I'm gonna try to meet you halfway here. The multiplayer based games, I might be able to see. Like you said, Splatoon. I think that okay.
Splatoon.
Even Smash Bros. To be really honest with you, with
that's their cash cow. They won't let Smash Bros. Come to Xbox. If that happened, then shit. I mean, you might as well just merge Xbox and Nintendo.
Really?
But
the Zeldas and Marios and stuff like that. But Smash Bros. No.
Hell no. That is their major cash cow. That would be that. I would swear if Smash Brothers came over to Xbox, then I was like, oh, there's a merger coming. There's something coming. There is something huge coming. I don't see Smash Bros.
I could see something like Bayonetta.
Right. Something. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like somewhere in that realm.
See, I was thinking multiplayer more for like crossplay, and then like maybe you have a perk for like say Smash Bros. For instance, you would have a perk on Switch that. When new characters come out, you automatically get them, but on the Xbox side, it would be DLC. This way, Nintendo would be making money that way with microtransactions as well. Right. You see what I'm saying? Something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I totally agree. That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, when I say Nintendo games, I'm thinking of old nostalgia games. Like, I can see a Donkey Kong, old school Donkey Kong Jr.,
Donkey Kong Jr. was my shit, brother. Oh,
you know what I'm saying? The 8-bit games, stuff like that. But okay, all right. Here's another game that I think that could have a potential to come over to Xbox. Would be Marvel Alliance 3.
Oh,
I think that like something like that. While like I can see Master Chief and maybe Marcus Phoenix or somebody like that come over there and be on Smash Brothers. Because they already got the Minecraft character there. They got every damn thing over there on Smash Brothers. So I could definitely see that, and then maybe have some more of those smaller titles that Xbox has come over there to the Switch, and then we don't know how powerful the new Switch is going to be, but the newer smaller titles, for instance, let's just say, okay, hypothetically, right? Let's just say that they make a 2D Castlevania game, right?
Okay.
That game could go over there. That game could go over there to Nintendo. So I think that they really are going to do more and more of this. I think Xbox is really trying to open and bridge is trying to open up the gates and say, look, everybody should be included in this. And if Sony wants to block their shit over there and try to keep it over there, then they're going to fail. And I think Sony will keep doing that until it's too late. That's why I'm saying I feel that they'll be on a decline. But I've been talking too much, so I'm gonna let somebody else go ahead.
I got you, bro. I got you. Like when it comes down to it, I think and we got the rest of the panel here, but I think there's a chance that people might be looking too deep into this, because when it comes down to it, even just getting Game Pass on the Switch would be big for Xbox. It would be big for Nintendo. It would be big for the gamers out there, because we all know when it comes to the second console that people have, and yes, I say console very loosely because you guys all know I call the Switch it's the world's most powerful handheld, right? But
Xbox, I really don't. I don't think that right now we should be on that realm. See, now I'm talking like Crispy. In that realm,
You just gotta say
I'm
ecosystem
saying,
now, bro.
I'm saying that I don't think Xbox can do this or get away with this. We have the show, and we will have Death Stranding coming onto Xbox. I don't care what
Death
anybody
Stranding?
says. I'm putting a game on it. Death Stranding's gonna be coming to Xbox.
Dude, is it gonna have a special FedEx uniform that you can put on if it comes to Xbox?
I don't know what it is, but I put a game on it. As 100 would say, I put a game on the wood. I put a game on it that Death Stranding is gonna be coming to Xbox. And you know what I'm saying, and then we got MLB The Show coming. I mean, just coming here tomorrow? All bets are off. We don't know what the hell Xbox is going to be doing.
That's coming. That's coming on the 20th, dude.
Yo, shout out to RG Viper X brother hitting up that super chat one more time. He said K Mega just said the M. I just said the M. Or prediction. I just said what Viper said earlier with his prediction. Tell them what I said before the show, bro. Now see. The thing is, man, I can't say it as eloquently as you did, bro. So I don't know. We got to get the rest of the panel involved in this. So let's go to Crispy on this. Crispy, I think we might be looking a little too deep into this per se, but it's interesting to play around with the whole kind of like Xbox and Nintendo partnership. What do you think is going on between Xbox and Nintendo, brother?
I think all Xbox wants is Game Pass on the Switch. And the only reason why I think this is somewhat true is because that Switch Pro has been rumored, 6 months ago, something like that?
Uh-huh.
So what better way to show the power of the new Switch Pro than using games that aren't yours? And the one thing that comes down to is the cloud. And I'm also curious, a lot of people don't realize, it's been well over a year that xCloud has been in beta. Why is that? There's an interesting concept a lot of people don't realize. When he announces it's out of beta, and you know, let's say Nintendo either before or after announces the Switch Pro, and then either before or after Xbox, says we have a partnership with Nintendo to put Game Pass on there, and we want nothing. A lot of people want games from Nintendo. I don't think Xbox wants anything. They just want that damn app on the console. And they don't want to put it on there and it be underpowered technically. Why not announce both at the same time and one before the other or vice versa?
But it would still have to be usable on the original Switch, though.
No.
Huh.
Xbox said 1 year, people. They didn't say, multiple years after they backtracked like PlayStation. They said 1 year. And they're going to start making games that are for the Series X and S. So don't be surprised. They already said this. On top of that, what Nintendo was doing, I mean, you had Outer Worlds on there. It was horrible. Everybody that's played it that I know, horrible. I mean, the frames per second killed the game immediately. Right off rip. So I don't know what to tell you, but Nintendo does not have the infrastructure themselves to push out a game like that. And I give kudos to Xbox and to Obsidian for fucking giving it a shot, dude. Like, let's throw it on there. But it was a horrible experience from just about every person that played on Switch I know. So you need a little back-end work. And even if you put out a Switch Pro, if you want to keep that portability, guess what? You cannot make the power that is needed to make a game run a stable 30 frames per second. You need cloud infrastructure. to help you. And the only gaming infrastructure that is viable at this point, because Stadia is gone, and what the hell is Luna? I mean, Luna ain't doing shit. So
Dude,
what do you got?
Bring it up. I don't hear anything about Luna.
You got Xbox, you got XCloud, and that's all you got. And you know what? Nintendo ain't. They are no dummies. Okay. And if you want to push out a mid-gen refresh for them, you know, it's a new generation for PlayStation and Xbox, but that does not mean that it's not a mid-gen for them, because they have been selling Switches like gangbusters. You want to sell more Switches, you'd probably sell me a Switch. Give me a Pro, give me Game Pass on that console, and I will bet you if I can get one, which that's always the problem with Nintendo, I will buy it. And then you get the back end stuff of me buying their exclusive stuff, because I mean, who doesn't love a Mario Kart? Who doesn't love, you know, a Mario 64, you know, revamped? Like that, those are all like hitting at the heartstrings. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I mean, when's the last time they touched Star Fox? A lot of people forget about that. But Star Fox, I mean, if you want to make it good now, you got to have some, at least some graphic fidelity, because when Star Fox came out, it was actually
just put triangles together, man.
Yeah, because Star Fox, when it came out, it was actually pretty damn good looking. You know what I mean? So what I'm saying is that I feel like Nintendo and Xbox are finally realizing, you know, especially Nintendo more, because they're like, you know, they're not kumbaya usually, but you know, Xbox lately at least has been like, hey, you know what I mean? Like, we'll help you out. You put Game Pass on there.
Yeah, I think
because
that's a big hook, man.
You know what I mean? Because the online infrastructure right now of Nintendo is horrible. You know what I mean? So why not let Xbox help you? And you know, you, like I said, we don't know what's going on in the back end, because all of a sudden this cloud shit's starting to get involved in some of these games, and all of a sudden it's starting to work better than it ever could. But this is on an completely underpowered system. I mean, it's horribly underpowered, but it's also a mobile, you know, aspect that Xbox is really not trying to get into. I think they would get into VR before the mobile aspect. The mobile aspect's already done, in their opinion, because of the cell phones. And I think that's where we're ignoring, like, they have the cell phone market. Why not get into this mobile, you know, handheld gaming market that is still there, which is the Switch? Because Vita's gone. They closed the store. You're done. Bye-bye. You know what I mean? So what do you have left? You have Switch, which can be a handheld or, you know, a docked console.
Is a big community as well. If you look at like the consumer base there, you know, if I were Xbox, if I had a way to negotiate getting like Game Pass onto the Switch with how many people own a Switch, I mean, that's a good business move right there as well.
And I'm not, and like I said, like, I'm not saying that Nintendo wouldn't be like, hey, here's a bone, you know, here's the next Mario Kart, or like Mario Kart, whatever, Ultimate or something. You know what I mean? Like, not saying they wouldn't do that, but I don't think they would. And I don't think Xbox cares. That's the point.
I'm not saying they wouldn't do that. I don't think they would. I got you, bro. I got you. Yeah, you know, Nintendo, like I said, when it comes to their first party, man, they keep everything really close to the chest. They are very protective of their Mario, Zeldas, and you know, titles of that nature. So, but
well, actually, I'll bring up this one last point. I don't feel like, you know, because Phil's the leader of Xbox, I don't feel that he wants to kill any single anything. Like, he probably grew up playing Nintendo and PlayStation and everything else. So I don't think he wants to kill them, but I mean, I more or less feel like he wants to do that, even though they're still going to make money at the end of the day. That's the whole point of being a business.
Yeah.
But, why not help them? Because, like when he had that interview and he said, Google and Amazon are our biggest, and Apple, biggest competitors. You know what I mean? Because he's looking at them as like my nostalgia, my gaming
those
life.
Those are Microsoft rivals as well. So,
but they're Microsoft rivals. But at the same time, like those companies are capable of purchasing like Rockstar if they wanted to or something. You know what I mean? Like that's when you look at those companies and you're like, they could just like destroy gaming. Because if you look at what happened with Stadia, like some really good people lost a lot of jobs. You know what I mean? And that's not right. And they didn't even try. We didn't even see what they were doing. That's fucked up. Like, at least give us a chance. Like, you know what? People could say Death Stranding was a flop for Kojima, but guess what? People experienced it and they actually got to fucking play it. And that matters to me. You know what I mean? I didn't like it, but somebody else did. And you know what? That's the whole point of gaming. Like, you don't have to fucking like it, but somebody else probably did. And if it's a truly trash game, everybody is going to be throwing their arms up. You're like, I ain't touching that. You know what I mean? And that's usually, when it happens, but it's few and far between. You know what I mean? So I enjoy gaming. I think, Phil enjoys gaming. And he probably has every fucking console ever devised for all we know. You know what I mean? And he brings up old ass games and shit. And I'm like,
last interview he had a Switch on in the background, so he definitely has a Switch.
Yeah, well, we all think that was a little that was a little tug at the heartstrings. Like, yeah.
Like,
we're talking with Nintendo.
Well, yeah.
But that's what I love about the way Xbox is approaching things at this point. And people can hate it. They can say they're not cutthroat enough. Well, you know what's cutthroat? Getting MLB The Show there. You know what?
Well,
you could sit there. You could sit there, and you could be mad or you could hate it or whatever. All I know is that on April 20th, I'm going to play a baseball game, and I haven't played a baseball game in years because that is the one game that I've wanted to play for baseball, and I haven't been able to do it. So,
my bad.
What the fuck?
I just want to say this, and by the way, the game, if you paid for it, comes out tonight. If you get the
right.
Okay.
So there you go. See? So they give you incentive to buy the game. This is what Gears 3
to buy
did.
The $84 one though. Or the
Gears 3 did this shit, dude. Like you could play the game like I played the game like 3 weeks before Gears 3 came out. Played the whole fucking game. Like, this is the shit they used to do. But that's logical because, you got subscriptions, you got everything else that's going on. Like, you don't want to play for the Ultimate Edition. Well, guess what? I had to pay $100 and something for the Gears 3 Ultimate Edition or whatever the fuck you want to call it. And I got all the bells and whistles, including playing the game an entire week and a half, 2 weeks before. So, that's nothing new. That's fine. It's when we get into these crazy microtransactions and shit, like, like you have like special weapons and stuff. Like, that's when people get pissed. But if it's just cosmetic, people don't fucking care. Do you really care? I mean, if you can't earn it, but you pay for it, but you refuse to pay for it.
I deal with the Eververse store all the time on Destiny 2. They have stuff that you can't earn that you would have to buy with silver, aka microtransactions.
But does it give you an advantage?
No, it's cosmetic.
Okay, like no, I experienced the same thing in all the Gears, even the divisions and all these games. I experienced that, but at the same time, it doesn't give me or that person that bought it an advantage. All it does is make me look at the character and say, "Oh, it looks cool." You know what I mean? Like, that's the way it looks at. You can't sit there and hate on people for purchasing it. Well, hey, you fucking purchased it. You paid $20 for one skin or a different color of the skin or or whatever. Like whatever you want to do, that's fine. But there's been many instances where these games, you know, what is it, Battlefront 2? For the first part of that game, holy hell, there was a lot of hate for it. So, you know, the cosmetics are fine. The point is that, you know, Xbox.
I'm wondering what we really went off. We took a left turn, brother.
Well, you kept questioning me. You don't remember.
I will check the tape afterwards.
The point is that Xbox and Nintendo will make more from Xbox than Xbox will ever even care about making from Nintendo.
I'm not so sure about that, but we are going to get another person on the panel into this, and we got to get Predator in on this. So, Predator, Xbox, Nintendo partnership, what is going on here, bro? Tell me.
No freaking clue. I honestly think if I had to guess, I would say it had something to do with Game Pass. And, you know, the typical response that we're going to get from, and I'm going to give it to, I'm going to be like, okay, what are we getting? You know, like, what are we getting out of this deal? Like, in the business side, it's like, you know, they're putting out Game Pass on another system, and that's what they want. They want Game Pass on everything. They want Game Pass on Sony. They want Game Pass on Nintendo. Hell, they can get it. They can get it on Stadia.
Yeah, dude, and that's the thing. Like they talked about getting, you know, as many gamers in on the subscription service that is Game Pass. And yo, just real quick, I just want to shout out Sir X-Man, yo, hitting up that super chat one more time. Sir X-Man, brother, thank you so much for the support. He says it would be nice if the Switch Pro, the new Switch, took a SIM card. Expandable memory is always good on devices, sir. But yeah, my bad. Predator, go ahead.
What was I saying? Oh, so like, you mentioned like, you know, getting on everything too. Like, okay, so what subscription service is not on everything? If you think about it, like like there isn't one. I mean, like you can get. I mean, you can think of it as like if it's for Disney Plus.
Yeah, like movies, stuff like that. They're on all devices.
Yeah, they're on.
Actually,
everything.
they're not on Switch though. Not all of them, at least.
That's because they don't have an operating system that can run it. I mean, they do, but they choose not to. And that's one of the things I didn't like about my Switch when I got it. It was one of my biggest complaints. Like they didn't have those options to get apps on there. But outside of the Switch, like you can get Netflix, you can get Spotify, you can get everything on a phone, a tablet, a computer, fucking a TV. I mean, like a fucking probably your refrigerator nowadays too. Like you can do all that shit through everything because it's just an app, which is exactly what Game Pass is. It's an app. So, hold on a second. Probably fucking spam trying to sell me insurance or something. But like it's but you get it. You get that everywhere.
They want to let you know that your car warranty is expiring. By the way.
Yeah, right. And that's what it is actually. So most likely. But I mean, the partnership with them, I can see them putting Game Pass on. Like the easiest answer would just be Game Pass. I would love to see them, you know, work something else besides Game Pass. Like maybe they get, I don't know, some of the older games from Nintendo.
Well, Pred, real quick. I just want to let you know, my brother RG Viper, who is in the chat, we were having a discussion before the show, and he was talking about, and I can't put it as kind of like eloquently as he was putting it, but he was basically talking about the possibility of a merger between kind of like, you know, Xbox and Nintendo. Do you see anything like that happening? Because, and again, yo, Viper, I am so sorry to not be able to put it together the way you did, because the way you put it together, you had me thinking about that. But what do you think about something like that, Pred?
He said what, a partnership? What?
Like as the beginning of a merger, like going on down the line.
I don't think that Nintendo's for sale, to be honest with you. Like that, like a merger, maybe like a partnership with If there's a partnership, I think it's going to be through Game Pass. I don't know about anybody. I don't know about them buying out Nintendo or anything like that. That's a stretch. Especially like they're still Nintendo's still operating like Nintendo. They're making another console. They're still selling you cardboard boxes. Like I mean, like they're still out there doing what Nintendo does. So like it'd be different if they weren't profitable and they were like just tanking. You know, like and like let's say like the Switch didn't do well, you know, or something like that, and they wasted money after coming off with 2 consoles. Like the Switch didn't sell well, and then what was the one before the Switch? The
Wii U.
The Wii U. Yeah, so like
I like the Wii U too, by the way.
If that was the case, then maybe. But like the Switch is like selling like crazy. So like I really doubt that they would just sell out like that. And even with the down years Nintendo has had, it's like they always bounce back. I don't know what they do, but they seem to have it have their marketing down to the point where like they know if they have a shitty year, they can come back and just throw out a Zelda or one of those nostalgia games that somebody wants and get it. Like, okay, so here's something too. Like, you see that they're putting every company except for Nintendo is starting to put games on PC. Obviously, Nintendo is like, we need to expand. What's the best way to do that? We have to partner with somebody, right? We don't want to partner with Sony because they were dicks to us before. So we'll partner. We'll show them. We'll partner with Microsoft. They'll put Game Pass on our system. Hell, they may even put an operating system on there. On the next Switch or whatever. But that's what I'm saying before. Like, there's got to be some kind of trade-off. You can't just say we're gonna let you have Game Pass and the games that we're coming out with, because I don't honestly think that every game that Microsoft has right now would run on Game Pass. I mean, would run on a Switch. I don't think it's feasible unless they have to. They have to be xCloud, man. If they would have to do xCloud, yeah. So like, but if they're gonna do that, I would just say, look, like, don't fuck the gamers over like that. Your Xbox gamers over. Give us something back from Nintendo. And I don't know if that's going to happen. I just don't see that happening with.
I don't think they look at it like they're giving Nintendo.
They're looking at it from a business standpoint.
Yeah.
They're looking at it from a gamer standpoint. That's what I was trying to say earlier. Like, it's a business move. It's not a gamer move. Now, would it be nice to get like a Mario collection or Smash or Mario Kart or like some of the even if it's some of the older stuff, like a collection? You're right, like a Nintendo collection from like the 90s. And like, the old Marios and like, up to a certain point, they could start throwing games on there. That would be great. That will be a partnership. But if it's just the way where Microsoft just gives them something and get nothing out of it except from cash off of the sales, and the subscription parts of it, I don't think that's a good trade-off for them. It's nice to get, Game Pass on another 1,000 number of consoles out there, but I would like to play some of those games on my Xbox One X. Not on my phone.
Yeah.
What if I don't have a Switch? You know what I'm saying? Like, so they have to put some of their games, some of the Nintendo games in xCloud to kind of make it balance it out a little bit. And I know some people are not going to like that idea. I know it's not probably going to come off that way.
I don't think it's going to happen like that.
I don't even think it's going to happen, to be honest with you. I think they'll just be like, oh, yeah, we'll just put it there and stuff like that. But like, I know the first thing that's going to come out is like, well, what are we getting? What is Xbox getting from this? What are the gamers from Xbox getting from this?
They're getting funding for more games.
No. That's not what we want. We want games, right? And so like I mean, that's nice if you're a businessman, but like, we're not all businessmen. We're gamers. So like, we actually want to see games come, and then you got to be day and date shit. Just give us a small collection. Like, I mean, yeah. Am I expecting Metroid on there? No. The next Zelda on there? No. But like, you could throw old school Zelda on there, one of the remakes y'all did. You could throw some Mario on there. You could throw some freaking Mario Kart or something like that. Like, give us something back. But like, it just seems like, I think that if they did it, I think a lot of the people on the Xbox side, the first thing out of their mouth was gonna be like, what are we getting? Because we did that already when they started putting like, what character was that they put in Smash?
Banjo.
Steve.
Was it Banjo? They put Banjo in there, I think.
Steve from Minecraft.
They put a couple of characters in there, and it wasn't just Steve from Minecraft. I want to say it was Banjo.
That
Banjo
Banjo's
was
in there as well.
Yeah, and so like we're like, yo, when I remember when Banjo was there, they were like, well, what are we getting out of this? Like, but go back to that E3 where Phil was on stage with everybody. Like I thought that meant
Hold on,
something.
Phil was on stage with Reggie and
Who
Sean.
are no longer there. Yeah,
and he's the only one that's still there.
Yeah, but like I think that meant something at the time that we just really weren't ready for. And I don't know if that's, obviously it's not going to be like, oh, we're all going to put games everywhere at one time. That obviously was never going to happen. But I think there was something working there behind the scenes that we still have not gotten the full information on. And with Reggie leaving and with the other guy leaving from Sony, like I think maybe that got put on hold. But again, I'm just speculating right now. But they didn't come on stage and say what they said for nothing. And then obviously like the other two guys left. So like, like that had to throw something out there. Like they were like, we're out. We see what's happening and we got to get the fuck out of here. But I think that meant something. Like they were trying to do something together that maybe the other companies were kind of like scratching their head on. Like Phil was all in, but the other two were like, nah, we ain't feeling this shit. So maybe they got rid of him. I don't know. But seeing that,
didn't you put Jim Ryan in his place? I don't know. I don't know
that's a whole other podcast. Oh, maybe that's on this podcast. Wait, is that today?
Hold on. Yeah. Well, we got to get to that main topic. So
yeah, let's get to that because I think we got Dark left.
Yeah, we got Dark left, and then we're gonna go.
Dark.
We're gonna go with the main event here. So Dark, throw your thoughts together real quick, and then we can get in on probably your favorite subject tonight. After this whole Xbox Nintendo partnership thing, what do you think's going on, bro?
Honestly, man, I think it's just Game Pass.
Me too.
I think it's they'll probably Nintendo will probably give some of their games, but it's not going to be like Mario.
I think you guys are just being very nice about that, yeah.
I don't think it's going to be any of their like actual first party games. I think it'll be like Bayonetta, something like that. Something that is made by a basically their second party games.
Yeah.
Like things like that. Like you guys got Octopath Traveler, right? Well, that's not a Nintendo owned game. That's a Square Enix game.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that it would have came to something else. I think that's what will happen if they do this.
Well, if we get Astro Train, then I'm with that.
Astral Chain, you could get that. Yeah, that's definitely one of those.
Isn't that Bandai Namco?
No, that is Platinum Games actually.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah.
that is. That's right.
That would be another really good get for Xbox. I think some of those games they're gonna have to like Nintendo's probably gonna be like, well, yeah, we want to put Game Pass there, but then Xbox, I feel like they'll be like, well, we kind of want these other games.
Saying that though, bro. Like I really don't. I think it's Xbox saying, hey, we would like to put Game Pass on the Switch. You know what I'm saying?
Course. Yeah. It's Xbox saying that they would like to put that on the Switch, but then they're like thinking to themselves like, we got to get something out of this deal too. Like there's got to be something there. There just has to be. Just because it just I don't know, it just wouldn't make any sense for them to not get at least like like the whole Octopath Traveler thing, like something like that. But I mean, let's just get to the main topic, to be honest.
Yeah, I got you. Well, just a yes or no answer on this. Is Octopath Traveler on PlayStation?
No, it's not. No.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. And shout out to Christopher Hart. Christopher, because he's talking about Game Pass on the PS5. He's like, why buy an Xbox then? And Christopher, if Game Pass were on PS5, I think it would be strictly through the cloud. So you wouldn't be playing the games natively on your system. I think that's the hook for Xbox.
Well, also to answer that to him is like, Microsoft doesn't care where you play on Game Pass. Like they don't
Thank
care
you,
if play a
Dark.
game. Like all they care about is you playing the fucking games. That's it. That's all they care about. Because that's
And
where they're
paying the subscription, people.
Yep,
Holy
that's it.
shit. You're still going to
That's all
have
they
to
care
play a
about.
subscription. That's the whole point.
Exactly. So I mean, if it did come to PlayStation, honestly, I think it would just be good for everybody. To be honest.
Oh, yo, shout out to Sir X-Man hitting up that super chat one more time, brother. Thank you for the support. He says Xbox SIM card works with a cellular phone network. So you're talking about making your Switch a cell phone then? That would be insane, bro. I mean, insane cool. But wow, we are like stretching boundaries tonight, man. We are going beyond. We are thinking outside the box, both the panel and the chat tonight. I am digging it, yo. Thank you so much, brother. But guys, we have to get to the main event here. It is a question. It is a question I posed out there in the world of Twitter. And it's a question I am posing to the panel and to the chat right now. Guys, get ready, start typing, and definitely voice your opinions on this. Are we witnessing the fall from grace for the PlayStation? We all know the PlayStation is perceived number one when it comes to console gaming. You know, a lot of people talk about how many consoles sold and stuff like that. I look at kind of like the media and what, you know, the media darling and what they talk about. But there has been a shift here. There has been a shift when it comes to the gaming media. You know, Game Pass has become such a value and has gotten better and better the longer that, you know, it's been around, and continues to grow, that it has the gaming media now talking about Sony and how they need to respond to this. Even though the PlayStation Now service has more games in it and stuff that people like to tell me about, it seems like the perception here is that Game Pass is the better deal when it comes to a subscription service for games. Not only that, if you look at Jim Ryan and his kind of like his confusing direction when it comes to PlayStation. At first they believe in generations, and then, you know, then they come out with games that are on PS4 and PS5, even though he stated that they weren't going to do that. It seems that there's a lot of double talk, a lot of double speak that came from PlayStation that is now catching up to them. And I'm posing this question here because when it comes down to it, when you're in the present, you don't necessarily know what you're witnessing. It's not until after it passes, it's like, oh, wow, I just saw this happen, and I didn't realize how big it was. So I'm kind of putting it out there now because there's definitely been a shift. There's been a gain in mind share when it comes to Xbox. Xbox has been doing all these things, catching such positive kind of like news and positive perception when it comes to the gaming community. You know what? I ended with Dark. I'm going to start with Dark first. And I know he probably loves that I did this. But, Dark, you gotta let me know. With everything that's going on, and kind of like the criticism that has been getting thrown out there, even like PlayStation gamers, that you know, smaller YouTube channels up to the, mid-size or whatnot, there's been a lot of criticism when it comes to PlayStation and kind of like their moves lately, or dare I say lack thereof. We already heard what Jim Ryan has said, and then what he's actually done over what he said. Dude, are we witnessing the fall from grace here when it comes to PlayStation?
I've never been a doom and gloom kind of person, even when Xbox wasn't, in the best of terms. I don't think PlayStation is at a downfall. I think it's at a decline of of knowing what the industry or where the industry is going. But I think, they do have some time to bounce back from that. Will they? Who knows? We don't know. That's the thing. PlayStation has always been that way, where they just don't communicate very well when it comes to what they're doing, or how they're gonna present themselves for the next go around or whatever. Xbox has always kind of been better at that. Nintendo's even better at that. I think PlayStation, I don't think they're at a doom and gloom at all. I just think that they're at a place where they feel comfortable, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it's also not a good thing either.
Dark, here's the deal. I don't know if they feel comfortable. Now, I'm going to throw something at you, and you can keep going. You can take it and run with it. Keep going, do what you want. But I'm looking at Sony, right? And out of all their divisions for the Sony Corporation, it looks like PlayStation is the one that funds everything else as well, in terms of profits and whatnot. Now,
well, I'm not talking about really Sony. Well, I'm talking about more PlayStation.
Well, I want to throw something out to you here. During the PS4 era, so many people have talked about how many consoles came out. Then we see something like Days Gone and Sony saying that it wasn't necessarily a success, even though there were so many millions of games bought or whatnot. This is what I feel had to happen for Sony and PlayStation. I feel like Sony wanted PlayStation, or needed PlayStation, to get the attach rate numbers that a Nintendo console would get. So that being said, so many people talk about how many millions of like Spider-Mans were sold or whatnot, but when you look at the actual numbers compared to how many people who had the console, I don't think PlayStation was as profitable for Sony that it needs to be, and I think that's affecting them and how they're moving into the future.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Not really, dude.
Because
I'm trying to understand what you're saying.
Well,
but I'm
Nintendo's
not really...
attach rate, like when it came to the Wii U, they came out with a first-party game. They had 10 million Wii U's out, but they sold like 15 million copies of their IP somehow, some way. And I think because when it comes to Sony as a corporation, PlayStation is the only one really kind of bringing in revenue, that they're needing that money, of course, for PlayStation, but for their other divisions as well, to kind of help their, kind of pad out their other divisions and keep Sony running as a corporation. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they shut down a lot of their divisions. I mean, they have their TV division, they have their movie division still, but a lot of their other
that sucks in money like that.
Reopening actually, that apparently I think there's something going on there, something like that. But I'm not really talking about Sony as a whole. I'm talking more of just PlayStation. I don't see PlayStation going like in a downfall. Maybe you see Sony going into a downfall, but I don't think the brand of PlayStation is in a decline at all. I think it's more in a state of, they're gonna do what they're gonna do. They're kind of like Nintendo in a way. I just don't think that I don't think like they're always gonna be top dog. I think that eventually something will take those reins, which is more than likely will probably be Xbox. Which isn't a bad thing. Like, people make it seem like, oh, it's so terrible. This is terrible, Like, no, that's not terrible. The thing is it creates competition, It creates, better games for us as gamers. I know where you're coming from, Bot, with the whole, Sony thing.
I think that's what's spurring some of these PlayStation decisions. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see that. But I just don't. I could see more of the downfall of Sony than I could see of PlayStation itself. I think PlayStation will do fine. It's just if Sony can't afford them anymore or whatever, then they might sell them to somebody else.
Well, Dark, here's the thing, yo.
Like that.
Shout out to Game On Daily, which is a podcast that I watch, and somebody put this in a perspective that I was like, oh wow, that actually makes sense. Dark, how do you feel about this? PlayStation, Sony and PlayStation are, and this is gonna sound wild. I know this is gonna sound wild, but trust me, like I feel it makes sense. They are actually in more of a position to, or a threat to go third party or multi-plat than Xbox is.
Well, yeah. I mean, Xbox has Microsoft behind it, you know, like that's a whole different story with the Xbox. You know, Xbox isn't going anywhere. You know, like I know people would want Xbox to go away, but it's not. It's not going anywhere. It almost did, yeah. There was a point, yes, but I mean, we're past that point now.
Okay.
It's not going away. And I don't think PlayStation's gonna go away. I mean, Sony might, but PlayStation as a brand, I don't think PlayStation as a brand will go away. I think, you know, it will have its day where it'll fall from, you know, that being the top dog of the console market, but I think, you know, that's only good for us, because then that means, you know, that they're gonna want to compete even more with, you know, Xbox and what Nintendo's doing or whatever, you know, like it would just be good for us in the end, you know.
Just real quick, shout out to Dennis Haas. He got exactly what I was saying. He's like, even God of War sold 6.5 million copies. He's like, that's a lot of copies. But is it a great attach rate considering how many PS4s were sold? And that's what I'm saying. And that's where, you know, people are talking like, you know, in terms of Days Gone sequel, and how Sony said that's like
we don't know that there's not actually gonna be a sequel to Days Gone. We just know that they turned down the pitch that they did back in 2019. I think they did a pitch for Days Gone 2, and Sony turned it down.
Maybe they didn't like the story or something like that.
Right, they didn't like the story, or they, you know, maybe they actually did thought that, you know, the game didn't make enough money, so they.
Well, I mean, that's what was rumored, that was the case. Like,
right, that was what was rumored, but then Jason Schreier actually did come out. That's why I always hate, you know, reading some of these articles, because sometimes they get taken out of context or they get blown out of proportion from really, you know, because the media, the media is terrible. Okay, the media is. I don't like the gaming media, because they always, when they know that they're in a spot where they're being threatened, they always, in the gaming, I'm just saying in the gaming world, not in like media period. I'm talking about just in gaming. When they feel threatened, they always try to do some fear-mongering shit, you know? They always try to do some kind of like, oh, well, you know, this company's doing this, or they're doing that, or they try to say something about certain things or whatever. You know, they always try to do something that is not like even remotely has to, I mean, that's what they did with Xbox. They did that with the Xbox last generation, you know, and now they're doing it to Sony, which, I mean, probably deserves it, because I will say the fucking Sony fan base are fucking jackasses.
Wow.
They're a bunch of fucking they're a bunch of fucking a lot of them are just a bunch of fucking ignorant people that just don't they don't want to see past what, you know, PlayStation.
I put that as the minority when it comes down to it, man.
Yeah, you know, it's the minority, but it's the loudest ones that are on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're the loudest ones on Twitter. That's the same thing with you know, a lot of that SJW stuff. They're the loudest ones on Twitter, even though they're the minority of people. You know, it's just you know, I think that PlayStation's going to be okay. I think Xbox is going to do fantastic, and that's good for all of us. I want to see both companies succeed because then you know what that means? We get more fucking games. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what that means. We get more games, we get better games, we get things that we haven't seen before. And who benefits from that? Us as gamers. That's it. Period.
Nice, brother. Definitely love, and I know that was a hard topic to start off as like the first person to get the question, and dude, you did a great job, man. I appreciate it.
Appreciate that.
Let's go to Predator on this one, man. I always love hearing kind of like the business side from Predator when this all comes down to it, and I think there's definitely a business layer within all this. But Pred, you heard what I said with Jim Ryan. You heard what I said about, like, you know, everything that's going on, kind of like the gaming media, and kind of like how there seems to be a shift. There's definitely a mindshare gain when it comes to Xbox. So I gotta ask you, because we always look at it in hindsight and been like, wow, we witnessed that. Do you think we're witnessing now in the present kind of like the fall from grace from PlayStation?
I want to say no, just because they have a really passionate fan base for that console. They'll keep it afloat. You know, just them alone will keep PlayStation around. There's too many people who refuse to switch over. It's like switching over from Apple to freaking Samsung. Like, it's a hard move for some people.
Which a lot more people are doing, though.
It's true. That's true. But it typically takes something like majorly fucked up for them to make that switch. You know, like they just have like a bad, and not saying that Sony's making the best moves right now. Personally, I don't think they are, but it would take like a lot of, and you see it. I'm seeing it now on Twitter. Like they're getting the fan base is getting more vocal, and it's something that they never did before. With us, when things were changing with Xbox, like we were always vocal. We're like, this is fucked up, you know, and we've even been vocal enough to make them revert back to previous policies, if you think about it. So
yeah, double the price of Xbox Live. Got you, bro.
That, you know, like the always online thing. We
Did they try to do it again after that too?
No, I don't remember seeing that.
No, they tried once.
Okay.
Once. That's all it takes, you know. But this thing is, that's all it takes is one negative piece of information to happen, and people will just flip flop like that. And so, I'm not saying that every PlayStation guy is going to jump ship and come over to Xbox, but you know, the writing is on the wall. I will say that the fan base is not happy with that product right now, and the leadership. And I think it's all stems to the leadership. I don't think anybody's happy with Jim Ryan. I think that's the first problem. When you have a company to go through a reorg like they did recently, where they basically, if you think about the last 3 years, they've gotten rid of everybody. Like they either retired or they just left. You know? And,
yeah.
And so like you basically have a whole new regime over there. And the thing is, Microsoft went through that, and we had some dark days, you know. And so Sony's have to deal with that too. The difference is, are they going to be able to rebound from it? That's the biggest issue. Like, I think we talked about this before when I was mentioning like the volume of games that are coming out that Microsoft potentially can come up with. That like what, 23, 30 studios right now.
23 studios, man.
And still looking to buy more, you know, and so like that's a lot of games from those studios too. It isn't like they're just making like one game per studio; they're working on multiple projects with each studio, and so potentially Microsoft can put out, I would say, what's Sony been averaging, like 3 or 4 games a year over the last generation?
Yeah, I would say more like
about
2 to 3, maybe
2 to 3, because there were a couple of years in there where they only had like 2 games. So like we'll say on average 3 blockbusters, right, a year. And Microsoft has done that too, but theirs have never been like they're not highly touted games. So like they're like, and I know you won't say Metacritic, but like they're not scoring well, you know, with the fan base. So Sony's putting out high quality games, but the quantity isn't out there. Whereas Microsoft is going to put out high quality games, and the quantity is going to be there. I don't think Sony can keep up with that volume. If you look at all the studios Microsoft has, they can put out 6
They're gonna drown
games
them
here, and that's not even including the little AA projects they're working on, and or the stuff they're putting in Game Pass, and or the DLC they're going to come out to keep you.
Not only that, but Jez Corden has also talked about Xbox, kind of like the second party deals, using third party to make it exclusive, Xbox platform exclusive. He said that
they're going to flood the market.
There's quite a few deals like just that.
And not saying Sony doesn't have that going down the pipeline too. I'm sure they got some AA deals going on too, some second party deals going on too. But but the amount of time it takes for them to get a game out, like it's like we've heard about Forbidden West, we've heard about God of War. They've canceled a couple of games, not really canceled. They decided not to make them. But like outside of Ratchet and Gran Turismo, I think will probably come out this year. Maybe I thought they got delayed actually.
That's
we
next
got
year.
Ratchet, we got Eternal. What comes out after Ratchet and Eternal?
Deathloop, actually.
No, that got delayed, right? To next year.
No, it got delayed to September.
It got delayed to September.
And that's made by who?
That's Bethesda.
Oh, Bethesda. My bad.
Oh, there you go.
Arcane, to be exact.
What's their next first party game gonna be? And I'm guessing it will probably be God of War. And I don't think that's gonna come out this year. I think maybe in the spring of next year. That'd be a good time for it because nothing else is gonna be out. But like that whole mantra where we like, oh, we can only release games at the end of the year. That's gone. Like I think Microsoft has too many fucking titles coming out in the next 3 years where they can do that. They have to like space it out, which means literally they're gonna put out a game every 2 months, basically. If you think about it, and that's not including that. Yeah, that's gonna be insane. And Sony's gonna drop 2, maybe 3. Over that time period, and it's gonna be the same shit we played before. Don't get me wrong; they make great games. They make a lot of great games, and if that's gonna hold you over for those 1 or 2 games a year, so be it. But let's not sit here and act like Microsoft's gonna be dropping duds every year for the next fucking 3 or 4 years from all the companies they have. Let's not even play that game. Now maybe Halo's gonna be hot, and then when I say duds, I don't mean like Metacritic duds. I mean not system seller duds. Like they're not gonna do that. Their games are gonna sell. So I think what Sony's problem is gonna be going forward is just the volume. It has nothing to do with the games that they're going to come out with. If we're still dealing with the same marketing that we dealt with the last 4 years, they'll be good. But things have changed. I think Microsoft realized, like, okay, we need to put more games out. We need to put more good games out. And so that's why they bought all these damn studios. Not only just to fund Game Pass, just to keep us occupied. And I can honestly say this generation, since it started, I've played a shitload more games than I probably would have. With Xbox, and it's not just because of Game Pass, it's because they've actually put stuff in, even though some of the games are kind of crappy, but I played them, I tried them out, and that's what they want you to do. They want you to be engaged. It isn't about console sales. It's never been about console sales. I don't understand why people still use that as a metric. It's never been about console sales. It's been about money, and how much they make, so they're trying to make money, and so at some point that's gonna bite Sony in the ass. They gotta, not saying they gotta play catch up right now. They still have time. I think it's just the leadership. I think the person in charge right now is making decisions that are splitting the fan base up. But I will also say the decisions he's making are some of the same decisions that we went through 5 years ago. Like the PC thing, and so to me, it's gonna be how they're gonna bounce back from it. They can get rid of Jim Ryan tomorrow, but the vision's not going to change. It's going to be the way they approach it. They're still putting games on PC. They're still going to do that. So that's going to happen at some point in time. They're talking about putting a Game Pass type subscription service out there too. So they're basically following suit what Microsoft is doing. So if you're a hardcore Sony guy and you're still delusional to the fact that I can't believe they're doing this, dude, look at Microsoft. Look at what we just went through the last 3 or 4 years. You guys are going to do the same fucking thing because what Microsoft is doing is profitable. That's why Sony's going to do it. You can't look up here and be like, we sold 100 million fucking consoles. How are they still neck and neck with us as far as money in the gaming division?
Yeah.
How is that possible? That's where it's coming from. So they're gonna have to make some changes. I'm not saying doom and gloom, but I will say that that right now there's definitely been a change in mind share. Definitely been a change in mind share over the past, I would say, like last 6 months. Ever since they announced the Series X, it's been a change. It's been a slow change in mind share if you think about it. Like, and it's just getting, sliding over, to the Xbox. Like even the media of all people, the media is actually siding with Microsoft right
now. That's incredible right there, man. Because what we saw the entire last generation, and we saw like really really great games, like damn, the game by Remedy. What happened?
Quantum Break.
Quantum Break, Sunset Overdrive. Really really great like Xbox games get hammered, because of like little things like resolution and stuff like that by the gaming media, and we're not really seeing that now. You know what I'm saying? It's not really that a big topic like it was before. And
well, right now they're siding with Microsoft because of the moves they're making.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to see how they react when the first couple of games start dropping from Microsoft first party going forward. Like, let's see, like Halo. What's the next one? Halo. I'm guessing.
Well, that
first party.
Yeah, that we know.
Yeah, so like. I want to see how their attitude changes, if it does at all, when Halo drops, and they start dropping the next couple of nuggets after that, going forward, Halo, Forza, etc. Because I mean, like that will be the telltale sign if they really transitioned over. If they just bomb Halo, then we'll know. But like, Microsoft hasn't been in the games. And Sony's done that in the past. So I think with Sony, right now, they got to figure out how to get back mindshare. And if Microsoft makes another couple of moves, let's say they pick up Konami and Kojima. Let's say they get, what was this one I saw a minute ago? I forgot. I'm just looking at it right now. Square Enix, they start working with them. Like they start seeing stuff like that popping up, and oh my god, they bought this studio, they bought that studio. I think it's gonna be a fucking wrap. So like you guys, I did the whole hand gesture too. I did that. So I think you're gonna see motherfuckers start acting a little stupid on Twitter if that should happen. So, but Sony's gotta get this shit together, man. Because their people are not happy on their side of the fence right now.
I'm fighting for my life.
Yeah. Yo, for real. Shout out to Albert, man. Albert, in the chat, he said most of the AAA games coming out for Xbox will be out in 3 years. Come on, guys. Now, Albert, I want to warn you. Stop listening to those other YouTubers out there, because those are the same YouTubers.
Stop listening to the media too.
Well, listen, can I finish? Can I finish? Are you cutting me off? Do I cut you off? Yeah, I do cut you off, man. But anyway, stop listening to the other YouTubers out there, because they are the same ones that said that, they said a year ago, it's not going to be until 2022 that these games drop, because that's when, because they built up their Xbox Live and then used the dollar to transfer over to Game Pass. They're like, that's when, that Game Pass deal kind of like expires for the people who transferred over for $1. So you're talking 3 years. It's 2021 right now. So you're talking like 2023 and 2024. Do you see how these YouTubers are pushing it back further and further?
Send that shit to Hades.
When Halo is coming out this year, and and there are 23 studios under Microsoft's umbrella. Do you really, really think 3 and 4 years from now is when those games are dropping? No, like they are coming.
Well, especially since they already have games in development already. So I mean, and plus, like what, Hellblade's been in development probably right after Hellblade came out. So Hellblade 2 is probably pretty close to being done. I would say maybe some of them will come out. I would say nothing's probably going to come out around Halo, but I think there will be games next year for sure. Like I'm hoping this year would be Crossfire X, but we'll see. But probably next year, Crossfire X, Hellblade 2, things like that. You're good. We're gonna be seeing games from Xbox.
Well,
so
Crossfire
don't.
X Remedy loves to take their time when it comes.
That is true. Yeah,
they
that's
do
true. We
love
might
to
not.
take their time.
That might be one of those ones that we might not see until 2023, 2024. Who knows?
Oh,
I hope not.
Well,
But
shout out to Remedy because they do make some great stories, man.
they do definitely. So,
But yeah,
I mean,
it's so like when it comes to the other YouTubers out there, if you notice, they keep pushing the years further and further away. It's not Xbox doing it. It's not even like the gaming media themselves. And what you really got to ask yourself is, Xbox has been gaining all this mind share without dropping their first party games yet either. Like that's absolutely incredible to me that they have found ways, in giving to the gamers, giving the idea of value when it comes to Game Pass, and then working out all these deals, working out a deal with Major League Baseball to have the show, day and date on Game Pass and stuff like that. So like it's been absolutely insane over here on the Xbox platform, and it's just gaining steam right now. So don't put a lot of faith into that 3 or 4 year thing. Don't listen to those other YouTubers who are going to keep pushing the dates back and pushing the dates back just so they feel more comfortable. It's not like that in real life, man.
Their narrative, yeah, it's just to fill a narrative that isn't really existing anymore.
The goalpost.
Yeah, but
Denied.
Let's go to K Mega. Let's go to K Mega on this one, man. So K Mega. Dude, I can't stand you. I love you as a brother, and I can't stand you at the same time, man. How is that going on?
Got him!
Got him! Yeah.
Oh,
but dude, you heard what I said.
God.
Jim Ryan confusing with his direction. You see what's going on in the gaming media now. People are talking about Game Pass as that deal when it comes to the gaming industry. All the moves that Xbox is making, and I gotta ask you, man, are we witnessing that fall from grace from PlayStation, bro?
Yes, we are. I would have to say, and when I say fall from grace, it's kind of like what Dark was saying, and it's something that I've been trying to allude to for a while. I said this about a month ago. I was talking about a chart, and in that chart, matter of fact, I might bring that chart back up on GRG tomorrow night. It was a chart that was showing all of these gaming companies that when they had their reign, and slowly but surely something came up and started taking it. Whatever the case may have been, new tech, better games, just what something always took the place of something that was dominant for whatever. Now, Nintendo has been long-standing for a really, really, really long time. But
when was
they
the last
lost to
time they were
Sony.
number one?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, technically, if you really think about how, if you wanted to see, it's more than just console sales now. That's the whole thing. What'd you say?
The Wii sold gangbusters, and it was not
right.
number
Yeah,
one.
I mean, I had this conversations with 108 on GRG, and it was the thing of, well, they got smashed console sales wise. Yes, but it don't matter now. It's just what was just said or before, is that what Pred said was that, look, Microsoft is keeping up with them in money, and they were in third place the majority of last generation. That doesn't make any sense. That never happened before. What Microsoft has done, what Xbox has done, normally for their trips and falls throughout that whole gen last year. I mean, it was last year. Basically, that would, Microsoft would be going into the realm of Sega. I mean, when the Wii U had what, 16, 20 million sales overall for its lifespan, people were already speculating back then that Nintendo was done. They might as well do what Sega's doing and become just third party. So Nintendo has a way of getting out of all types of ruts. Nobody wasn't expecting Xbox to do it. Everybody was expecting Xbox to fall. If they couldn't maintain the 360 success, then they were going to be gone like the dodo bird. They found a way, and that was because of management and the direction and the vision of the major company accepting the vision of the smaller company and saying, look, go ahead. We'll just open up the checkbook. Let's see how right you're going to be. Sony was like that. The Jack Tretton era, that was when Sony was at its prime. You had the most innovative, most creative, controversial games to come out at that time. And then all of a sudden, they're even talking about, look, you can't even see a ass crack on a character. That's going to get the, you can't do that. And then all this other stuff that they have been known for their creations, and then for the slander that they used to get, or for what Xbox used to get for the Halo, Gears, and Forza thing. And now the more and more you start seeing it, is that they're looking like it's going to be Spider-Man,
the same thing.
Yeah, the same thing, and The Last of Us. So, and God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn. I mean, just all you have to do is just flip it on its back, and let's just say, something came about where Phil went to Microsoft and says, "Look, I want to go ahead and I want to do another game, or let's say I want to do this particular game."
Hold that
out.
Thought, K-Mega, real quick. Yeah, I gotta address Albert real quick because he's not seeing something. He's talking about quality over quantity, and that's why PlayStation is the #1 gaming platform. Let me clue you in on something, Albert. The reason why the PlayStation 4 sold so many consoles last generation was because of Call of Duty. Look at the attach rate of how many PS4s, how many PS4 owners bought Call of Duty compared to like the 6 million or so, or 10 million, when it comes to the each first party title. When you look at it like that, then you know the reason why PlayStation sold so many consoles. Call of Duty.
But
it's even more than that. I mean,
Call of Duty the game. It was because Call of Duty had the PlayStation had the marketing rights.
Exactly.
Right. It was
more their DLC.
It was marketing. It was the price point being $100 less starting off. Sony starting off at the gate wasn't very strong. It was their price point that got them over the hump. Then afterwards, once they got their footing, Xbox was still tripping over themselves, and then when Xbox even had the better games, the narrative started to fly because the media was over here adding more to it, also with the growth of content creators, and so therefore there it came 1080p made you a better gamer. Then by the time that it was already in a flash. Games that was looked at and deemed as really good quality games are now looked at is trash because they were 900p, and now they only sold 2 to 3 to 4 million, which that doesn't equate to anything anymore. Even though back when people were talking about Persona 5 selling over 1 million, it was like what, 1.8 million or something like that. It was a godsend. There was so many different messages, but the ones that kept sticking was the Xbox had no games, and that Xbox was on the decline, was about to go away, and it was almost true because the management was so bad. Now we're looking at the situation and seeing, because of management, something that I said back 5 years ago, 2016. I said, listen, I wouldn't be so sure about all of this stuff going on in 2016, 2017 when Andrew House left and all the rest of these people started leaving. I'm saying, listen, you can't have something so great and then people just start leaving. There's obviously something coming down the line to where people are feeling uncomfortable. And then, people who's been in good standing for 20, 30, 40 years and at a company, and then all of a sudden they out. And now if they're older and they want to retire, Andrew House wasn't old. I mean, he was older, but he's not a person you would think that would have bowed out and said, I'm just done out of the blue. I knew something was wrong then. I knew something was up. And then slowly and surely you start seeing more and more stuff with Sony happen. And here comes now they moved their headquarters. They're changing their outlook on things, and it's because of the because didn't the CEO step it down or do something like that? Wasn't there something at the very top that did some moving around? That part I can't remember, but I do know that Sony decided to make a decision to go another direction from where they have been strong at. And then when they got rid of Sean Layton and then they demoted Yoshida, I said, oh hell, this is not a good look.
No.
This is they're going to stumble. They are going to stumble. And sure enough, they are. Now, there are some people that will deny it and say because they sold 6 million, which I guarantee you not all 6 million of those PlayStation 5s is sitting in people's homes being played. They're sitting in the garages, storages, you know what I'm saying, somewhere in a den somewhere ready to be sold for about $1,500 to $2,000. And that doesn't equate anymore. The whole thing now is that since Microsoft has showed a new way of how to get money in gaming, it changed everything. And that's why I was saying, look, if Microsoft can get this, I think this is basically repeating what I said last week. If Microsoft can get to that sweet point with Game Pass subscriptions, it is not going to matter if Sony sells 200 million consoles. Because if they can get to that sweet point, they're already going to have the mind share. And then it doesn't matter how many consoles you sell because Sony's still going to be taking it at a loss. Microsoft is going to be gaining. Everybody's going to want to be a part of Game Pass. And listen, it's just what Pred sent to me in the DMs. I posted it. If Square Enix is up for sale and there's buyers, and there's been rumors that Sony was in talks about that as well. So Sony could actually be a player. That would be a crazy huge change of events for them. But does anybody really see Sony being a major player? No, they don't. Let's just be realistic. It's only going to be if this is true, which is coming from Bloomberg. This is going to be Microsoft, Tencent, and all the other Amazon things like that. You know what I'm saying? Because even if Sony wants to throw some money around, they're not going to have. They can get outbid by any of the other names that I just said.
Yeah.
So that's the thing about it is where I say Sony is on a decline is because they're going to have to keep up with Microsoft now. They've talked so much shit, pulled so much wool over the gamers' eyes. Now it's up, and now gamers are like, "What the hell is going on? You told me that digital games wasn't the business. It's all about hard copies. You told us that having console exclusives mattered. You told us backwards compatibility didn't matter. You told us that games would never go anywhere else. It would stay on our platform." And they've changed every damn narrative possible. You told us that they believed in generations. You keep giving people mixed messaging like this, and this ain't coming from the media twisting. This came from Jim Ryan's mouth himself. And if Jim Ryan was slipping up, that means top management was slipping up because they should have been there to say, don't do that, because they had to listen. That shit was recorded, or when he was sitting somewhere in an interview, he had somebody there to say that. So obviously he's not only speaking for himself, he's speaking for what the higher ups want him to do. And so whatever he may have thought at one particular time, that might have been the point. But then upper management said, nah, we're going to change this because we see our competition making more money than us. And we're seeing a console that's not even nowhere near half the power of what we're providing our customers with the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5, outselling us every month for the last year and a half, which is Nintendo. How is this possible? So therefore, this is why I say that they're going to be on a decline, because they're going to have to keep up. And I think with the way Microsoft is taking off, and if they're doing all these partnerships and then they're going to try to acquire some more stuff, that means PlayStation is going to have to do something got to do one of the two things. And if they don't have the money to keep up like that, they're going to slip. And then that's where it's going to be Microsoft or Nintendo that's going to get to the top and stay at the top for a little while.
K-Mega, this is one thing I can say, and I haven't heard a lot of people talk about this. And I know we're talking about PlayStation, but bringing Xbox into it, this is really the first time that the Microsoft Corporation has completely backed Xbox. If you looked at, when the OG Xbox was being made, it was made by, a small team that Microsoft Corporation and Bill Gates at that point in time were kind of like, they didn't know if they wanted to do all that. And like, if you look at any of the documentaries and such, the Xbox division has always been looked at as, for lack of a better term, kind of like the redheaded stepchild of the Microsoft Corporation. And now with Satya there and Phil kind of like pitching him the whole Game Pass thing, xCloud, and our games on multiple devices through such a subscription and all that good stuff. For the first time, I think ever, the Microsoft Corporation itself is fully behind Xbox moving forward. Right. So when you were talking about Sony has to keep up with Xbox now, like that makes total sense to me because the Microsoft Corporation itself is fully backing Xbox as well. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And I see somebody saying with mediocre games, listen, bro, y'all was calling Sea of Thieves mediocre, but only thing Sea of Thieves is doing is making Microsoft a hell of a lot more money, and they're dominating. Look, money. Yeah, they're making them a hell of a lot of money. There's, I think, when Horizon Zero Dawn came out, it didn't beat Sea of Thieves. It didn't beat it. So if you call quote unquote, the Kraken is lacking or all that shit, Microsoft ain't caring because you know what Sony's caring about that. Like, man, do we need to make our own
Sea of Thieves?
Do we need our own Kraken is lacking game? We need something. We need something to maintain this. We need more multiplayer games. Get y'all's asses out there and start making these multiplayer games. Matter of fact, let's do what Microsoft was doing. Hey, if they're going to give us Halo, Gears of Fortune, we're going to do the same thing, remaster after remaster after remaster, so we can get that money back. And we're going to put this shit on PC. Remember when YouTubers and shit went after Phil Spencer for putting games on PC for the very first time? Remember that? Mm-hmm. Remember the backlash that man got? Mm-hmm. Now look at this. So again, hey, I'm not saying the PlayStation is going to go away. It's too valuable. Somebody will buy them before that happens. But I'm saying that now, just of what we're doing, I'm seeing right now Xbox staff with Phil Spencer, Matt Booty, Aaron Greenberg, all that. That's the Jack Tretton era. They remind me of the Jack Tretton era when PlayStation was at its most dominant, in my opinion. That's what they remind me of. And this new management, I have nothing against what these guys are doing. They feel that they're going to make it happen, and we'll see. But it looks a little bit different than what I've used to see PlayStation's dominate was. They don't seem to be steamrolling like they were.
And they're shell shocking some of their hardcore,
when you got people out here, when you got PlayStation fans out here now capping for what's that game called? Returnal. And Ratchet and Clank, shit's bad. Because those games would be
Ratchet
just
and
added.
Ratchet and Clank is hot though. Ratchet and Clank.
No.
That would be Game Pass fodder.
I'm not disrespecting those games. I think both games look great. No, I'm not dogging them. I'm saying though, it's a problem because nobody's ever played these games except we played Ratchet and Clank, but we haven't seen anything. Returnal. Like people are really trying to cap for Returnal like it's going to be that one. It's going to be on that same high tier as Ghost of Tsushima. Get the fuck out of here. No, it's not. It's going to be a good game probably because it reminds me of Recore. It's got some Recore abilities, but remember Recore was trash, right? You know what I'm saying? Whatever. All I'm just saying is this: when you got them capping for those games should be just added feature games for the big shit that's supposed to be coming later on down the year. And what do we know that's coming later on down the year for PlayStation this year? Okay, thank you. All right, Crispy, take us home, baby.
Yeah, I like that.
Home is where the heart is.
I like that. That was nice, man. Crispy, what do you got for us here, man? Is this the fall from grace for PlayStation? What's your thoughts here, bro?
from what people know PlayStation as, absolutely. You know, they rebranded to PlayStation Studios. They basically sucked in multiple aspects of their company into the gaming aspect. A lot of people didn't read into that, but that's cool. The fact is that they realize that their one cash cow is the gaming.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I completely disagree with the article, and I'm not saying it's true, from Mr. Schreier, which, you know, I mean, regardless of how much I didn't like his wording, the guy was kind of right about Cyberpunk, wasn't he? I mean, you know, you look at it and you're like,
great game. What do you
I don't. Yeah,
Watch
yeah,
your
great,
damn mouth, Crispy.
great fucking game. Yeah, for you. Yeah, there you go.
Well, it's just like Outriders won't play for me right now, man. But
Finish him.
Well, you know, Outriders won't play for you because you don't want to play it anyway. You too much playing that PGA Tour, so don't give me that shit.
I have to agree with that. I have to agree with that.
Of course you would. Of course you would. You're
Yeah,
fraud.
yeah. So I will say this. Xbox has continued.
Games,
Oh damn!
I mean that's true too. So I mean, you know, go ahead, Stans, record that. So
Xbox has done things unorthodox as usual. I mean, really, 2013, we thought, you know, that DRM and, you know, the Kinect and all that shit was unorthodox. Problem is that they used old things to make that happen. The only difference was the digital aspect, which we all know to be true now after all these years. Other than that, the Xbox One, underpowered. That's why they brought out the One X. Even the One S was, you know, slightly better, you know, hardware wise than the original one. But at the same time, everybody ignored that. And now we're going into a new system upgrade. That's what I feel like it all is now. Just a system upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're getting a new CPU basically. The one thing that Xbox
there's a bunch of new features in the series and stuff, man.
You know, proprietary things.
But no, I agree with you. Like, if they could have used the Xbox One name, like if the Xbox One name didn't have such
stigma,
such a dense stigma to it, they probably would have still kept the Xbox One name when it came down to it, bro. I completely agree with you on that.
And you know, they everybody, you know, trashed them for, I mean, how long was the joke about the series? Oh no, it's I don't know if it's 1X or Series X. Well, guess what? I could tell by the freaking goddamn thing sitting above my 1X. You know what I mean? That thing is ridiculous. You know what I mean? So, you know, I understand like the casual gamer, and that's where I go and say Xbox has changed their thought process. You know, Halo Infinite ain't coming out until the end of the year. Now, I will say this. There's got to be something else coming out because Jason Ronald, shout out to ILP, said it. Lord Attic asked him if what's the most anticipated or, you know, the game he's looking forward to this year. And he said it hasn't come out yet. And I believe that dude because he wouldn't have freaking said it.
Yeah,
so
but he could be anticipating anything, though. Maybe he doesn't like big AAA games. Maybe he likes smaller titles. Let's be real, man.
I felt like his emphasis when he said it was very adamant that there's something that they haven't shown yet. And
well, he said
I go back,
that haven't been announced.
I go back. I got this inkling that Hellblade 2 is going to come out this year. I got this crispy truth inkling that I feel like Hellblade 2 is going to come out this year. At the end of the year, right after Halo Infinite, it's going to be right before the Game Awards. They're going to let them not even nominate it or nothing. They don't care. And they're just going to throw the game out there. That's what I feel like, because they've been developing it long enough, and they've been messing with a lot of other things with different parts of their studio. They've hired like 3 times, if not 4 times, what they had when they joined Xbox Studios. It was still twice as much as what they had Ninja Theory themselves. So I don't know. Like, a lot of people are ignoring this. Like, they didn't show shit when we thought they were. They're like, oh, we're world building and this and that. Yeah, I think that was a crock of shit. But that's the whole point. Like, Xbox has so many freaking studios. You can't ignore it anymore. You just can't. And for PlayStation, their problem is that they don't want to put their games day and date into whatever it, and this is the convoluted part. Is it Plus? Is it Now? What's the actual service you're buying into? Because I mean, if you're already in PlayStation Now and you get Plus or vice versa, you're like, I just get Now. You actually get more on Now right now than Plus. What's the point of that? There's no. What's going on here? They need to streamline their thought process, and I saw what they were doing. Now you have PlayStation Studios. Now you can launch Horizon Zero Dawn on PC under PlayStation Studios. Logical, completely. But why are you not dropping these games day and date into your service? There's got to be a problem there. It's got to be a back-end problem. And this is something that Microsoft's not dealing with. Xbox is not dealing with. Okay? And the worst part is that their cloud services, which play games, I play Gears on my phone, by the way. I play Gears on my computer. Okay? Gears of War is not like some simple game that should just boot up on 56K modem or some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, this game is incredible, okay, as far as gameplay and everything else. And I have played this on multiple devices easily because of the cloud. So what are they doing to combat that? And I don't think they have anything. I don't think they have the infrastructure, and that's what concerns me. They don't see the writing on the wall, but at the same time, they still rebranded themselves, at least as far as the gaming aspect, to PlayStation Studios.
They hired people to restructure PlayStation Now, so we got to see in terms of the infrastructure. They can always I mean, they're working with Microsoft with the Azure. We don't know the extent of that agreement or whatnot, but they are in the mode of revamping PlayStation Now. So we're gonna have to see exactly what they do with that, because I feel it's gonna be very similar to Game Pass by the end of it.
Well, and that's fine, but I mean, it's like, even to this day, like Disney Plus, like Netflix all of a sudden jumped ahead of Disney Plus again. And Disney Plus has like huge, great IPs. And Netflix, I mean, besides the Sony deal they just did, which was smart, very smart, they don't have much. Not huge IPs. They have established and built IPs from themselves. And that's what I respect from them, because I watch shows from them. I watch movies from them, which are entertaining. They're not the greatest thing in the world, but it's worth my value. I get a good laugh or something. You know what I mean? I get something from it. And, that's what Xbox gives constantly. And that's kind of what Netflix gives constantly. Gives you something to be engaged in at some point in time. And I think that's what Xbox is going towards. But at the same time, I know that, you know, the gamer inside of a lot of that company, including now Bethesda, now ZeniMax, you know, these guys are gamers. You know, at the end of the day, you know, they're coming home and they're probably gaming. Is that they want to make a great game, and they want to make something that is like revered and goes into, you know, the record books or whatever. That's what they want. And that's what I feel like Xbox is giving. And I feel like PlayStation could give you great games. But as of right now, they've announced, you know, sequels, which is great. But I mean, to say God of War Ragnarok is a sequel is blasphemy, because that game's older than any Xbox exclusive. So explain that to me. I would love to know. I just, you know, I try to interject. I mean, it's a ridiculous thought process, because if you enjoy that game, it doesn't matter. But at the end of the day, you know, you're gonna say it's just another Gears, it's just another Halo. Well, God of War 1, I believe, came out like 20-something years ago. Feels like it came out on the PS1, I believe.
No. PS2.
The beginning of the PS2 cycle.
Actually, it came out middle of the PS2 cycle, actually.
So it came out after SOCOM? Because I don't believe it did. I played that before SOCOM.
Dun, dun, dun. Come on, PlayStation guys. What's up? Where's the answers?
What came out before PlayStation? What did you say, Crispy?
He said that God of War came
I
out
said,
before
I
SOCOM.
believe, I didn't, I said, I believe God of War came out before SOCOM, the original God of War.
I thought SOCOM came out first before God of War. I don't know. I'll look it up right now.
I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. It's been a long time.
And I could look it up, but for some reason my hands are not.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
Keyboard.
2005 is when God of War came out.
Mm-hmm.
So, well,
2002 when SOCOM first came out.
Yeah,
that's what
so SOCOM came out before.
Yeah.
Okay.
2005. Think about that.
I mean,
what about it? That was right around. I think didn't Gears come around that time too? No, that was later, wasn't it? Yeah, that was later.
It was a year after.
Yeah. So I mean, you know, I mean, they're both they're older franchise. I never got that whole narrative. That
No, I'm not saying it's
that started with these freaking, like I said earlier, these stupid ass fucking fanboys who are just like so into this freaking like the PlayStation is the best thing ever, you know, like that they're so minute, like they're minority, like Bot was saying earlier, but they're the loudest minority. So that's what kind of, I understand that, like I see where you guys are coming from, like you're tired of hearing that shit, because it's true. You shouldn't be having to hear it, because honestly, God of War is older than Gears. God of War has been around for ages.
2001, right?
I mean, it's been around for a while. Well, the first God of War came out in 2005. So,
I thought it was 2001.
No, 2005.
Oh no, because that's when the PlayStation 2 came out. But yeah,
right,
so
it was 2001. So
yeah.
I mean, like that whole narrative of like, oh, Halo, Gears, and Forza, that was started by I really think that was started by some YouTubers who were just like, they just wanted to see more than just Halo, Gears, and Forza, and it's just like, yeah, but what do you want to see from them? No one ever says, what do you want to see from Xbox?
Right. Well,
around that time, no one ever said anything. No one ever said anything. They were just like, oh, yeah, I just want to see them do more games. I was just like, yeah, but what do you want to see them do? Like,
right. But the same people that will say that, how many more games do we got to play that's Halo, Gears, and Forza? But ask a PlayStation fan how many GT Sports that they or Gran Turismo's or God of Wars or movie wise, how many times you going to watch a sequel to a Spider-Man? How many Spider-Man movies do you want to watch? How many? I mean, it makes no damn sense. Like, so you're going to go see another Star Wars sequel or a spinoff or something like? Why are you watching The Mandalorian? Aren't you sick of Star Wars?
Yeah, I just Fast and the Furious is coming out with their ninth. And
I'm going to be right there.
I'm going to be seeing that shit,
loving it.
Yeah, dude, I never understood that because I mean I love Gears. Like I mean I agree with Crispy on a lot of the stuff that Gears has done. I mean I love Gears. I think I want to see more Gears. You know, like I don't want to see Gears go away. Like they act like they want to see Halo, Gears, and Forza to go away and never come back and never do anything. When we
why they don't want to see
how many Ratchet and Clanks, how many freaking God of Wars have we had? How many freaking? It's just like it's ridiculous, dude. It's completely ridiculous.
But you know why they don't want to see them no more, right?
Because they
fear games. They fear them. Yeah, they fear them. They know that there is not one PlayStation game that's on the same level as Halo. They know that. They may not like Halo. They may, they may not like shooters, but they cannot say that Halo is not like one of the best. It's not one of the icon franchises out there. You cannot put.
Halo is a blockbuster, beyond blockbuster.
Right, like you can, like this is the thing. This is what was so crazy is that you can see there will be people who don't know what the new Xbox is, but if you say Halo, they know that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how iconic. That's just the same thing with Nintendo. But this is the thing though with PlayStation. The one thing about PlayStation that they have over Xbox is that the console has the name. But there's like if you talk to older people, they know Nintendo, they know PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
But they may not know about which Xbox is what. They might even never heard of an Xbox, but they know what fucking Halo is.
Oh yeah.
That right there tells you how impactful Halo is, and they want that game to die. They are praying for Halo Infinite to just get destroyed. They are praying for it, but the problem is that it won't. I think this is going to probably be the best Halo that we've ever seen, personally.
Oh, for sure, dude. Oh, I absolutely agree with you.
I think that because I think what they're going to do is that they're going to implement every last Halo that's been that they've had from 3 on to 5, and they're going to throw it all into there.
And they're going to get rid of luck, so it's win-win.
Oh damn!
I cannot wait. I cannot wait when Chief goes say,
Lock's going to come.
Lock's going to come. I mean, listen. I mean, you know what? Listen, he's coming back. So you know what I'm saying? Team Taurus is coming. Team Shadow is coming. They're going to open the universe up finally. I can't wait, but that's a whole other discussion.
I'm telling you, I mean, even the little
team
that we saw of Halo Infinite was good. I mean, was it the best? No,
it wasn't polished. It wasn't polished,
but it looked good. It looked, like Halo, and I was just like, oh,
take your time, do it right. And also, while I'm seeing Albert over here is still talking about, but there's no new IPs. There's new to this. There's 23 other studios out there. There's a whole list of games that's going to be coming. On top of that, hell, there's DLC for there's new DLC that's coming out for Wasteland 3. That's a you know what I'm saying? So I mean, what are you talking about? Like this is the most craziest year, and it's not even been a full year yet within the generation that Xbox. Yeah, you could throw out all that shit about Xbox doesn't have their big AAA IP out yet, but nobody's really caring because there's so much to play on the Xbox side that they don't have any. They're not even worried right now.
I don't even know if I had a PlayStation right now. I don't even know what I would do in myself.
That shit would be. I would have the cleaning lady just dust it off.
Dude, but no, not even that. Like
5 wouldn't even be on
to have those IPs there as well as what I'm already been playing, and I don't like. Literally, I purchased Tony Hawk in the past year, and Cyberpunk. Those are the only 2 games I purchased. And I wouldn't have purchased them if they were on Game Pass, of course. But at the same time, Game Pass, I said, fuck it, I'm going to buy it. You know what I mean? And that's the weird thing. Like, and then I've played more on Game Pass because I'm constantly seeing something new coming there or something I haven't played. And I get it. Like, it's not new to you, but it's new to me. So shame on me for liking what's coming. Like, you know, when they dropped all those Bethesda games and I got to play Dishonored for a little while, I'll probably get back into it, but it's a very, you know, more single player centric game. And I'm not that type of gamer, but that doesn't mean that I didn't enjoy the time I had with it. So my point is, you know, Game Pass gives me like crazy options and options that I never would have even bothered with before.
Dude,
and I love that.
It's going to get crazier as well. Like the one thing I have said, and you know, when it came down to it, the launch of these new systems has been the most abysmal launch of a generation that I can personally remember. When you look at the offerings given across the board, when it comes to first party, the offerings across the board from both the PlayStation 5 and Xbox were absolutely abysmal compared to other generations, in my opinion. All right, and to see Xbox gaining mindshare like this without dropping a first-party title yet is incredible to me. Absolutely astonishing, and you know, the way that they did it is something that we've never seen before when it comes to Game Pass. And you know, in certain instances, the planets lined up just right and such where, like, when it came to MLB The Show, Major League Baseball wanted that multi-plat. So it's like, all right, well, MLB is publishing it, you know, on Xbox. So then you had Xbox come and say, hey, well, you know, since it's coming over here anyway, why not Game Pass? Huh?
It publishes on both Xbox and PlayStation.
Okay. So, you know, that's who Xbox had to deal with to get MLB on Game Pass day and date. They weren't dealing with Sony. They were dealing with Major League Baseball. That was their door in there to get that game into Game Pass, right?
But it's also not to say that PlayStation isn't getting third party deals as well, like, you know, look at Forspoken, things like that
I hate that name, by the way. I really hate that name.
They're not technically exclusive, they're time exclusive, but you know, there are people out there who will be like, well, I don't really want to wait 2 or 3 or 1 year for this game to come out, and they'll just buy it on PlayStation or whatever service if they have one. Or when they have one.
No, I was just talking about the mind share that's being gained from Xbox right now, without dropping a first party title. Like that to me is absolutely incredible, and that means that they had to do something insane to do that, and that's what they did with Game Pass, and that's what everybody is talking about right now. Yeah,
insane. I think it's more smart business play to buy third party games to come to your service. You know, it makes sense.
And like I said, the planets lined up to where it's a title that's Sony, that is known as a Sony game. You know what I'm saying? Yo, shout out to the friendly neighborhood Blue Shell hitting up that super chat, brother. Thank you so much for the support. He said we will probably get some, and I thought he was joking at first on this, but I think well, this is what he says. We will probably get some lock flashback missions in Halo Infinite, as well as Blue Team, since Chief is separated from everyone.
Yeah, it have to, because Infinite is the sequel to 5. So I mean,
flashback scenes. Well, we're not gonna get any gameplay with Locke. It'll probably be more Chief.
Oh no, not at first. No, they're gonna say that. They're gonna say the encore for when they start bringing out the expansion.
No.
Then when that gray ass Oni suit gets back on after he just kicked Hyperion's ass, or whatever that damn big ass brute that's gonna beat his ass at first comes
Locke's
back.
gonna be DLC content. That's
Yeah,
what
Locke's gonna be DLC. Team Osiris is going. Look, I have faith in what 343 is going to do. They're going to expand the universe. People, you know what I'm saying? For the, and I'm looking forward to it. But for what my boy just said right here, I just think of it like this: what Xbox is doing is giving us the appetizers of PlayStation games like MLB, the show, and other little tidbits from like Octopath Traveler and stuff. And we're having an entree, Outriders. We're having an entree, but then when the big boys come, you know, when Halo and the rest of these games start coming from Xbox, these Xbox IPs, then that's what's going to be the encore. That's what's going to be the main meal. So I mean, it like you said, it's all worked out perfectly.
K-Mega,
because gamers aren't feeling like they don't have anything to play. And that's what matters at the end of the day.
Finally.
Game Pass is just the greatest game filler that you could possibly ask for.
Finally, but you got to remember, like, for a couple months there, it was kind of like, oh man, I don't know what's coming. We don't know.
I was playing the shit out of Cyberpunk.
A lot of us were playing, you know, our backlogs and things like that. I mean, but it was just, you know,
Cyberpunk was brand new.
Yeah, but I mean, it didn't work out for a lot of people, you know.
I understand that. I'm sorry, and I apologize to those people for that. I can't. You know what I'm saying? I can only just speak for myself for how entertained I was with that fantastic game. Story wise, I understand it was buggy as shit for a lot of people. And then I did tap into my backlog, and then I had the remainder of my time playing the shit out of Dragon Age 4. So
yeah,
you know,
yeah, you like No Life Dragon Age.
I know life that shit
because Dragon Age 4 is not out yet.
I mean, Dragon Inquisition. Sorry, Inquisition. Sorry, you're right.
Nice. Well, guys, we have gone on quite a long time. You know, I think it's about time to wrap it up. I do have.
We do it every week that way.
I have to go to work tomorrow morning, so. But yo, I want to say first off, you know, huge shout out to the chat. Everybody that hung out with us tonight, man. The conversation in the chat was awesome. The back and forth joking around, all that good stuff, and to see people expressing their opinions on the topics that we were talking about as well, man. You guys knocked it out the ballpark tonight, yo. Really appreciate you guys, and to the panel too. You guys had some really awesome opinions tonight, man. It was a lot of fun doing this show. But, you know, like a 40-year-old with a comb over, it is time to get those plugs in. And, yo, let's start with Crispy tonight. Yo, Crispy, again, man, you are never afraid to share your opinions, you know, with the panel, with the community. Always love when you do that, bro. Why don't you let people know the other shows that you're on, so this way they can go and check out your opinions there as well, man.
Oh, absolutely. You guys were fire tonight. Even Dark Optimus, even though you went womp womp womp. just sometimes.
You mean Robert?
I really wanted to. I really just
you're using his government name? Come on.
I'm hoping you just, you know, take a long.
I'm kicking the log over the river, right?
I just hope that you take a long walk off a short pier. I'm just saying.
Love you too, buddy. At Christian Bomb on Twitter, Christian Bomb 28, Xbox Live. Yes, hit me up. Not Gears, Outriders. Yes, been playing a lot of that. And yeah, you can find me on Breakfast with Boom tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. We got Retro Renegades Tuesday night, 7 p.m. And then right after, I'm going into Gaming After Dark with Mr. Noof Nukem. And yes, we are going to bring that fire at 10 p.m. on that Tuesday. And then, of course, you can find me back here on the next podcast, 8 p.m. Thursdays. Yes.
Nice, brother. And with you being on Noof Nukem show, I know that's a show people should definitely not miss because it's probably going to get flagged at some point in time and possibly taken down. So you're probably going to have to watch it live because to add Crispy to Noof and his crew, yeah, that's definitely going to be memorable.
I will still never forget being on with Primal Eve the first time. That was pretty incredible. And actually, I was just silent. I was just like, laughing with the mic muted type thing.
Nice. Yo, shout out to Noof Nukem out there, man. My Canadian brother.
I hit the wrong button. Button. I was like, "What is this?" My bad. No, shout out to Noob. I was
like, "Damn, man! Holy shit!"
My bad.
What was that?
Oh no! I was pressing the button, looking at something and did it. I was like, "What the hell is this?"
That was Darth Vader from Revenge.
I know, but and that's my no. I've been looking for it, but I found it. Okay, so I didn't have it labeled.
Guys, K Mega has found his no. By the way,
it's back.
Yo, Predator, man.
With that.
Hey, I'm trying to get the Predator. Yo, Dark, you have cut me off all night tonight.
Well deserved.
Yeah, he's just getting me back, basically.
Hit him! Ultra combo! I was about. I didn't know if he was gonna get hit with it or not, so I was like, okay, let me back off of that.
All right, yo. Predator, man, it is your outro. What do you got to share for everybody, and how's that OnlyFans coming, man?
Casting couch this weekend, guys. Anybody want to send somebody over to interview for a job position? Holla at your boy.
Oh wow!
You gotta contribute to my OnlyFans.
I'll make sure I record it. It'll be on my OnlyFans, just so you know.
Oh, wow.
Nah, man, nothing going on this weekend. Anniversary this weekend. Me and the wifey going out to some little steakhouse out here in Texas, and I need some meat.
What?
Oh.
I said, hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Yeah.
Outside of that, man, nothing but Outriders. I'm on the Outriders life still. So I'm about to throw this shit in the trash, though. They keep fucking me up, man, and crashing these damn servers. So I might play some baseball this weekend, man. I haven't. Looking forward to that. It's so hard to do an outro.
Where's the end, man? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know.
Might try some baseball this weekend. If not, I'll definitely try it next week. But see y'all next week, man. Hopefully we get some news, some gaming news tomorrow or next week, so we can have some better topics to talk about. Nothing wrong with these topics tonight. Nothing wrong with the topics tonight, but like it's been. I don't know. I'm so used to Microsoft dropping bombs like the last couple of months, and it's like it was slow this week, so kind of worried. So I think we're getting close to E3, so it's all rumors and shit now. So
yeah,
shit.
OnlyFans.
How many bombs you got to drop in the toilet? Jesus Christ!
Oh, good God, Fred!
I'll destroy people.
Wow. Yo, Dark Optimus, man, brother, your outro. What?
Oh my God!
When's he gonna stop?
What the fuck?
Dark, I apologize. Yo, Pred, I apologize as well, man. K Mega has lost control. That's it. Like.
Okay.
Yo, K Mega, fuck, man. Yo, Dark, what do you got for us, bro?
Hey, you guys can find me on Twitter, Dark Olives. You can also find me on Xbox and PlayStation with the same name, man. And you guys can find me here on the next podcast, 5 p.m. Pacific.
Y'all trying to kill me?
Oh, come on, dude. I like my old one, man.
You got two now. You got three. Otter, you have more.
I don't want three though.
Sound effects now. You have the.
I don't know why Otter. You're giving me different sound effects, man.
No. They all stick. They're perfect for you, brother.
Listen, Robert.
Do they? Are they?
Robert, it's gonna be okay.
Are they?
Robert.
Oh man,
Robert, it's gonna be okay, Robert.
Robert.
I'm so glad you guys think it's funny.
Yeah. All right, yo.
I just don't want people to associate me with fucking that fucking shit, dude.
Oh man, okay,
I hear you, bro.
All right, I got you.
Hello, Robert.
Okay.
You stupid, Chris.
Wow. Yo, K-Mega, what do you got for us, man?
Are we really going to find out the dark secret past of Roberts, aka Dark Ottoman?
Hi, thanks for checking in. I'm still a piece of garbage.
Okay, anyway, yes, you can come and check out the GRG podcast tomorrow night. As usual, it will be lit. We'll be talking about it. Hope you guys will come and check us out. 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, and 2 a.m. GMT time. So, yes, for you night owls out there, because I know I'm a night owl myself, get your ass up, get something going, and listen to the podcast. But anyway,
I didn't know I was going to the gym, bro. GMT
shit.
time.
Is GMT, right? That's it. Yeah, I said it right. I said it right. All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
time, I think.
Yeah. Shut up. Anyway, man.
Disrespectful.
And also, I think we skipped this week. So yeah. So maybe I think is it next week that we'll do Devin the Gamer? I think so because we do it we do it twice a month. So. Also, Fight Night Sundays is returned. We came back glorious. We started off playing what was it, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 on the 360. It was absolutely glorious. But not everybody had their 360, so it was just a couple of us, but it was still fun as hell to play. It's been a long time. And then we'll be back this week. So come and check us out there. Also, you check me here on Thursday nights, here every Thursday night. So I will be doing that. And if I forgot anything else,
Over 3 years. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know, right? We've been here for a long time, man. This podcast, how long has this podcast been? 5, 6 years?
2016 we started.
That's too damn long. And I haven't even, you know what I'm saying? And I haven't even got a hand job yet. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous, man. It was ridiculous.
Dude, I tried to hook you up. Why do you think? Never mind.
Oh my God! Hold on, bot.
No, I was gonna bring somebody else into it. Then I was like, hold on, I can't make jokes like that anymore. There's space between us.
I already know you're talking. Okay,
yeah.
anyway.
I can't do that.
All right, anyway, thank you guys for hanging with us, man, for sure, man. I know I've been a nut, and I calmed down on the soundboard a little bit, but at the end, we just do it, and so we got to get the hell out of here so I can play our favorite theme, leaving out of here.
Nice. On that note, again, thank you guys so much for hanging out and for supporting us. Yes, we are one of the longest running podcasts in this community. We have seen a lot of things. We have put in a lot of episodes, and we are still growing, people. So please hit that thumbs up button. Share the show out. Let people know where you were on Thursday, and let people know about the show for people who can't actually, check it out live. They can check it out afterwards. They can hear K Mega soundboard. They can hear Robert getting mad. They can hear Crispy going off into left field, and they can hear Predator being Predator. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us, and I'm going to end the show the way I always do. We will see you next week for the next podcast. Have a great night, everybody.
Oh, where were we? I was about to ask you for your favorite brand of feminine hygiene spray.
This is Steve Downs, the voice of Master Chief, Spartan 117. And you're tuned in to Next Podcast. Now, wake me when you need me.